I plead the fifth. Anyway,
Skyler, what the fuck?
the sensei route.
Oh, you just
hints,
said publicly
I
on
still
a
feel like that
podcast
would've,
that you're attracted to an underage.
No, I'm not.
Welcome back to Shitposting with the Lads, episode 9. I'm Tiger. I'm with Skyler and Michael, as always. First thing we got on the list, I don't know if anybody's been following with this new trend, but Vtubers, and I think Michael has a lot to say about this.
Yeah, okay, so in the past couple weeks, actually I think starting 2 weeks ago, give or take, I've been watching a lot of VTuber content. So I'll explain a little bit about my entire how this happened. So you guys are familiar with Kizuna Ai. She was the first popular one, and we talked about it when we were in high school before, when she was first getting popular, right?
I don't know who this is. All right, okay.
Okay, anyway, so she was the first popular VTuber. She's still the most popular right now, but basically I wasn't really that into her. Didn't have any interest in VTubers for a while. But then earlier this year, I think a couple months ago, I watched this VTuber who did a lot of covers for anime music and stuff. And then they don't really do a lot of other VTuber activities, but it was just a channel. And then it kind of primed me for some of this stuff because YouTube started giving me some recommendations for, VTuber content. And then some of my friends were talking about it. And then basically with so the VTuber content I normally watch actually is related to this company called Hololive, which is kind of like a talent agency for VTubers, which is something that I think is really, really interesting because what they do is basically they recruit people and they do all the marketing and stuff for them, and they are the VTubers are basically they play characters, but they do their own streams, and they do basically anything that a Western streamer you would a Western variety streamer you would expect. So they do stuff just chatting streams. They do stuff playing many types of games, including the popular ones are Minecraft or Left 4 Dead or other games like that are just popular at the time. And then they also do singing streams and stuff like that. But the because of the fact that they're in an agency, they tend to get very popular very, very quickly. So the people within this agency, within Hololive, recently actually they debuted basically a bunch of English. An English sector, 5 English streamers, and they are all above 250k subs or 200k subs within I don't know, a week,
making that
literally
money.
1 week. So okay,
Yeah, very popular, dude. Very, very popular. It's I saw this coming back when I don't know who talked to Michael first about Kizuna Ai. I want to say it was me, but yeah, the moment I saw Kizuna Ai, I was this is gonna be a thing, and this is gonna be big, and I'm right. So I guess I get to say I told you so. But yeah, I wish there was somehow a way I could have invested money in this, because this was such an easy thing for me to be this is gonna blow up and this is gonna be big. Yeah, they're making a ton of money, and it's gonna be the new standard. I think it's gonna be remember when AnyTubers were a new thing? I've been watching Giga for a long time.
Yeah.
Way back, back in his Podtaku days already, and that was a while ago. I think this is gonna be the next big thing, and the downsides of being a YouTuber, this is almost a better version of being a YouTuber, because the downsides of being a YouTuber is you get recognized, right, and you have all the stuff that comes with the celebrity of being a YouTuber, and the downside of being a celebrity. With a VTuber, you get to kind of divorce that from your personal identity in a way, and it's almost all the benefits without any of the cons, at least none that I can what you're
Well,
going to see, and then you also have this ace in the hole in your back pocket, right? Like face reveal, right? Like face reveal is always huge, so it's like, you know, I don't know. I think it's such a good idea, and it's such a natural progression of what's been happening already that I'm not surprised at all. I don't watch a lot of VTubers myself. I used to watch a lot of Kizuna Ai, but her original voice actor moved away from the project, and I haven't seen any of your newer stuff since. That's not a conscious choice. It's just kind of how things panned out. But yeah, like stream. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on that topic specifically.
okay.
Well, I don't think it will be the next. I think it will be big, but I definitely don't think it will be the next big thing because it's just. I don't think it's. I don't think it can be mainstream popular like K-pop is, or like, like I don't know, like.
Well, what do you consider like
TikTok stars are?
big, right?
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
what do you consider
Yeah, but
big?
I'm saying it'll be like anime is big. I think it's pretty. Like I think it'll be big, but I don't think it'll be the next thing big.
Okay, because like
Yeah.
Like YouTube big or like anime community big? That's what I mean.
No, what I'm saying is that I don't think VTubers will be more popular than like a streamer that shows their face.
that's actually like
I don't think
I was looking at the numbers.
What I'm saying is that I'm not saying that there won't be one single VTuber that's bigger than like a blank Twitch star, but I'm saying just like in general there'll be more.
No. Yeah, I get what you mean. Like,
Oh yeah. Well, okay.
Are they going to top
But
the
I mean,
Twitch charts?
I think it's very. I don't even know if that would be true
Maybe,
because
maybe at one
think it's
point
possible.
there might be a VTuber that tops the chart, but I don't think it would be like a continuous thing.
Okay, so I was
I don't
looking
know,
at some
man.
numbers.
I would be. I'd put like 60-40, kind of.
60 is what?
That it doesn't happen. So like it's
Really, you think VTubers will be bigger than like XQC and Pokimane and like Ninja and stuff?
no, the opposite. Well, when I was saying I think it's gonna be big. I think it's gonna be big in the anime community. But then when you say big, you're like bigger than the anime community, right? So I think
it'll be.
in terms of
I'm not
that,
saying it'll be bigger than anime. I'm saying it'll be big, but it won't be mainstream big. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like spilling out over the anime community. And for that, I think that's a 60-40, where 60% it doesn't happen, 40% it does. But I still think it like I mean that's still significant, right? 60-40 is not.
Oh no, I mean it'll definitely be a big thing. That's for sure. I
think it'll gain some mainstream appeal as well. Like
really,
look
I
at
don't think
like
it'll
Project
be...
Melody, dude. Project Melody is huge.
I think it'll take
Project
a while,
Melody
like...
was like the #1 girl on Chatterbait. I mean, we talked about this, but like I don't know, man. And then
I think...
did you guys see the thing I said? The fucking lewd cast? Oh my god, I didn't watch it yet, but I feel like this is gonna be hilarious.
I
think it's very hard for streamers to break into the mainstream in the first place. They're very marketable people that are barely mainstream. Like I think the only streamer that's mainstream is Ninja.
Right, but okay, so I was looking at some numbers in terms of like how popular they are and how much money they're making and how like how much they're growing. So right now on YouTube, the biggest. Okay, so Hololive is the group that's been growing the most, and that's in large part, so that's in part because of Giguk and Trash Taste talking about VTubers. That's in part because of Hololive as an agency growing, and so because if you get like any exposure to anybody within the agency, then they do a lot of collabs and they do a lot of like streams together, which is like one of the things that are like appealing about them. And then so you're going to get recommended all of their content kind of stuff. So they kind of grow together and they grow extremely fast. And also a big thing is that I mentioned Hololive is like expanding into English sector, and they've been huge and they're like blowing up really, really quickly. Like a few of them have already reached 300k subs in under a week of like since they started on YouTube, which is huge, right? So like I was looking at the numbers. Basically, most of the popular Hololive streamers are like around 600k to 700k subs on YouTube, which is pretty big right now. That's not to the point where the popular Twitch streamers are right now, where like on YouTube they are more closer to like 1 or 2 million subs, right? Like even like somebody like Trump, who is not like at the top of Twitch. So that I'll just like pull an example of somebody I normally watch. He's at like 800k subs or something like that. So they're not at that point yet, but the difference is that their growth is like super fast. So most of the popular Hololive streamers are growing, have grown like over 100k subs in the last month or two, which who knows, maybe they're reaching their like quote unquote ceiling of like where how many people will actually be enjoying their content at a like regular level. But like I would say it's probably not true, because they also, most of their streams, they stream like basically every day, and most of their streams from what I've seen reach 20-30k views like on a regular basis on YouTube, which is pretty high from what I understand, comparing to Twitch.
Define
numbers.
pretty high. Like,
No, that's pretty high. That's pretty high.
20-30k
I mean, it is
views on a
pretty
regular
high, but
basis.
it's not. It's not next big thing high. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, but like what I'm saying is, it's not at the point where it's fully developed, because it's like the point is that I'm trying to bring up is that they're still growing at an extremely rapid rate, and on top of that, because of their expansion into the English sector, the amount of people who are going to be exposed to it are going to increase rapidly within the next couple months, because this is like basically this is the first week that English VTubers have really been like a real thing, because like the other ones prior to this have been like independent streamers, which like okay, they can be successful, but they're going to be much less successful or vouched for than like a group of streamers that are going to be backed by a company which has proven to be successful and has a lot of like successful streamers in the past, right? And so you can already see that, or like from my perspective, I think that there's going to be a huge amount of growth within the next couple months for VTubers in general, and I think like it's going to be very soon that like most of the streamers are going to be breaking like 1+ million subs like on a regular basis, or like most of the Hololive streamers are going to be breaking 1+ million subs, because right now it's only Kizuna I who's above 1 million subs out of all the VTubers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then the second part of this is like the amount of money that they're making is also incredibly big, because like, so my comparison point was like, because the only numbers that like Twitch streamers have ever talked about is like Dom. He talked about like making about $700,000 a year, give or take, which is, you know, a lot of fucking money, right? So
I mean,
he is like, he's not even that big of a Twitch streamer. So like he was talking about how much money like Ninja or like somebody at the top of Twitch would make, and he's suspected something around like $5 million a year, give or take. So right now, sure, VTubers make a huge amount of money because they're like disproportionate to the amount of subs that they have, or like amount of people who follow them. Because like I was looking at the numbers, basically the people at the top of the super chat earnings, which is basically their donation goals, were making over like $100,000 per month. Like from donations alone. So that's not including the base salary that they get from the company. That's not including the merch that they sell, which I assume is also like a huge part of the money they make. Not including memberships from subs and stuff.
I'm pretty. If they're getting a salary from the company, then I'm pretty sure the company is
taking a deduction from the amount of money they're making from donations as well. But I'm saying like just like the amount of money that they're able to like rack up as in terms of like as a product, right? Like I don't want to I don't want to make it sound like they're like, you know, like an object or something, but I'm saying like at the entertainment medium, how much money they're making is like absolutely absurd, right? Like they're making
Is it absurd? I think it's not absurd. I mean, it's a lot, but like I think it's not absurd that they're making this much. Like,
well, I just saw a thing where it was like this one VTuber was making comments about how, oh, you know, the Canadians are really nice, they tip a lot, and then she got like a bunch of Americans tipping like a lot to like make the point that no, America's better, and then like the two freaking pay pigs from both countries were like tipping to try and see who could out tip the other, and it was ridiculous.
Mori, right? I've been watching her streams. She was one of the Hololive English, like she's like a pink hair, whatever.
I mean, I just read the headline for that, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, oh man, I wish I could invest in this somehow, dude. The simp industry, just So big, dude. Oh my god, so many.
But yeah, like
I wish I was a hot girl.
basically the what I'm saying is that like the amount that it's growing from here is also like it's going to be a huge thing because it's not just about like the current market, because I think like the current market is going to expand like double or like 3 times within like the next couple months. Like I think very quickly it's going to be like much bigger, because like a lot of factors are coming together right now that are making it so that like they get a lot more exposure to people that didn't have any exposure to them in the past. So I mean that's my perspective.
Speaking
on it.
of, right, so building on Michael's point of it continuing to get momentum and it getting more popular, there's also the possibility of existing streamers becoming VTuber streamers. And I think this is a good point to transition into Pokimane, who recently did like a VTuber stream, right? So, Michael, you want to build on that?
Yeah, well, okay. So personally, I think that one of the biggest reasons why like VTubers, or from my perspective, why I think VTuber content has an advantage over regular content, in my opinion. Okay, so there's 2 main reasons why like I feel like VTuber content has been successful, as opposed to Twitch streaming or like regular streaming, I guess, or that are a contrast. So the first, which is related to like the fact that they're an anime character or whatever, is that the pull of their stream is not related to like a game or related to something like that, because it's very hard. Because okay, if you think about it, like the amount of variety streamers that exist within like Twitch is very low, especially ones that are successful, right?
I think
Is that accurate to say?
it's accurate to say, but it's not accurate to say for big streamers. I think almost all of the big streamers are they play a lot of games.
Yeah, but like
Pretty much all of them. Like what's a big streamer that doesn't play like at least 3 or 4 games? Like Asmongold, but he plays Dark Souls and WoW, so that's like 2, right?
yeah,
You know,
but
XQC plays a bunch. Who else?
in general, like
all the shooters they play a lot, and then there's Pokemon that plays a lot. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that like yeah, it's true for like the overall, but I think for big like stars, it's like generally they play like a variety of games.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
also like thinking about it, like okay, so Disguised Toast, for example, who's probably one of the most popular streamers right now, right? That's accurate to say.
Well, maybe I don't know. It depends
He's
on
like
how
probably
you count
like
it.
top
Like
20
by,
or 30 or whatever. Like
by viewers, definitely not, because he streams on Facebook. But if he were to stream on Twitch, then yeah, yes,
yeah,
that
okay,
makes
so
sense. Yeah.
so he originally got popular because of like Hearthstone, and he
Right, yep.
spent many years making his name, like 2 or 3 years before he actually became like extremely popular, right? He worked like really hard.
Yeah, that would be accurate. Yeah.
So the difference between VTubers and Twitch streamers is oftentimes how to become successful through Twitch streams is that you have to make your name first, and like because of the fact that they're within an agency. Okay, so I'm specifically talking about HoloLive because I think that this is like going to be the
Right.
piece
Okay.
that
I know what you're gonna say, but I think the main reason you think that is because in the West, the real the regular streamers haven't adopted the business model of like the agency, which is not the case in the East actually, because in the East the actual streamers also have agencies.
okay.
And then I think you only see that is because in the West they haven't really there hasn't been like an agency of streamers.
Okay, so yeah. So I mean, from my perspective, of course. Maybe this is like a West versus East kind of debate, but like having the agency, from my perspective, has been like a huge difference because like the to become like a popular streamer or a popular VTuber, being attached to that agency name automatically gives you like a ton of street cred, or like basically a ton of subscribers just right off the bat. You can make content, like you can do all of this other stuff, which like is a huge advantage.
Yeah,
over
there's probably also like collab opportunities. And
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
like,
So
that's the
technical
whole
issues, they
that's
can
the
sort
whole
all their
point.
stuff out.
That's the
Yeah,
second part that I was
that's-
going to, which is collabs. I think collabs are the thing that, like, for VTubers, they do very, very frequently. So one of the big reasons I think Among Us has also been really popular in the West is because, like, streamers collabing is generally like or like
yeah, it's
watching
more
streamers collab
enjoyable.
is way more enjoyable, right? Like, but
Yeah, that's for sure.
in VTuber content, it's just they always collab like on a very regular basis. Like every week, there's like at least 1 or 2 collabs between like all of the VTubers and stuff. So you can like always expect that there's going to be collaborations, and like the collaborations are always like much better than the individual content in terms of like if you expect 2 different streamers, like when they collab together, they get like exponentially better, which is just like because their personalities bounce off each other or whatever. But like I think that's like a huge advantage that the Twitch streaming industry doesn't really have. Well, in part because they're not related in industry, so you don't really have the incentive to do that, and then like other factors, of course. But I think like a lot of those things come together, and I think those are the main advantages that VTubers have over Twitch streamers. I do think that it
Kind of. I was gonna say kind of a more morbid point though. As you were saying that, though, I was kind of thinking this is also like really great opportunities for like drama down the line, and then like drama always brings in huge amounts of views, right?
That's not
Yeah.
morbid. That's just that's just
I
entertainment.
mean, well, it's thriving off conflict, right? Like, let's say fucking
Right, but,
Kizuna
I mean-
and Korone have beef. Like, I'm not
That's
gonna
not
lie,
a-
I'd probably tune
conflict's
into
not a
that.
Bad thing. Conflict's not a bad thing. And like in entertainment, it's not a bad thing.
yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
like-
Well,
it's
I
like
mean,
faked
I
a
guess
lot
it
of
depends on
times
how
on
real it
purpose as
is, but
well.
like if they actually have like beef, like I would consider it
they
a
should do
negative
it.
thing.
They should probably just fake beef anyways, because it's
Yeah,
money.
pull out, the
I
fucking
wonder
KSI
how
Logan
much
Paul thing.
if the agency is holding that much power. I wonder how big of a cut they're taking.
So from what I
gotta
understand,
be a huge
from
amount.
the research that I've done, was basically that they take probably close to a like 50% cut of how much of all the money that the streamers are making, give or take.
I actually
No
thought that it would be
way.
more
That's
than
a
that.
lot. That's high.
I thought it would be more than that actually.
I thought it'd be
50% is
30-40%
is probably not even that
tops.
high considering how much money they're making.
Yeah,
to be
exactly.
honest,
That's what I'm
but-
saying. Like 50% is very low. Like I would assume it would be like 75 or like 85.
Oh,
What?
wow.
Because what you're making it sound
85%.
like is like that they're getting popular pretty much purely based off them being on the network, right?
Yeah. So
Mm.
okay, I actually wanted
I
to
would
transition
disagree.
this kind of topic because
Do you disagree with that? But that's basically what the vibe that I got from you. Is
Yeah,
that-
Dude,
so-
I mean, as the network gets bigger, they might be able to leverage that to take more of their earnings. But at this point, because they're also starting off new, and they're not the ones actually making the content, right? Like they're the agency behind the scenes, right? Like,
Well,
does
I mean, they
Justin
help them a
Bieber's
lot,
agency
right?
make
Because-
more than
I mean,
Justin
have
Bieber?
you seen? But what you have to. But in like every other industry, that's basically how it works. Where the net, like basically, if you were to make a TV show, Netflix or the network pays you to make it, but they get all 100% of the profit, right? Obviously, in
yeah,
this
so-
Man,
case,
I
the
got
agencies
some
haven't
profit
developed to the
sharing. I
point.
got a profit sharing deal, dude.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that that's generally the standard in entertainment. So I think in this case, considering the agencies aren't that established in the West, I could see it being just like a huge cut. But I'm curious what you think about that, because you're making it sound like it's like they're popular because they're on the agency.
Yeah, so
You know what I'm
I
saying?
actually like wanted to talk about this because so I was thinking about it for a bit. I was like, if you think about it, out of these people, like how many of them would be popular if they weren't attached to this agency? The answer is they're probably close to like they would probably be close to like 1/10 or even like 1/100th of the current amount of people that would be interested in them.
Yeah.
Like 1/10
I
or
disagree.
1 to 10%, like just like because of the agency. And
I definitely disagree.
no, actually, I have empirical evidence for this because okay,
Wow.
basically,
All right.
Yeah.
there was okay. So obviously this is not perfect, right? But basically, one of the streamers currently associated with Hololive, her name is Hoshimachi Suise. You probably don't know. Name probably doesn't mean that.
Oh wait, is she blue haired? I think.
Yeah. But
Okay, I think I know who it is.
she started off as an independent streamer, and she worked like really hard and streamed a lot and tried to like become independent streamer, and wasn't attached to an agency or anything, but she never like really got off the ground and like maxed out at like 5k subs or like, and she was working for like 2 or 3 years on this, and she was like relatively talented, if you want to say that. But like she made the same like type of content. Like the agency didn't change the type of content that she made. But the difference is once she got into Hololive in the past few years, so she joined like a year and a half ago or something, but she's blown up and is close to 500k subs now, despite not having really changed the content she made. So the big differences are twofold. So first is that what the agency provides is they provide both like an assurance of quality, but also they themselves provide like the models and stuff for the VTubers. So for the VTubers, like you need to have like a 2D model and a 3D model, right? 3D maybe later down the line, but like a 2D model where you like it will actually move and do like look like it's a real person. And it's not exactly easy to have that kind of as an independent streamer, because you need to be able to either contract somebody to make it, which is probably extremely expensive, like thousands of dollars or hundreds or thousands of dollars, and you need to have the technology to actually utilize that. And then I'm pretty sure, from my understanding, that Hololive has their own kind of like app that captures for like their phone, basically. That was my understanding of it. Like for the face recognition software.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, having 3D equipment. So I've heard 3D equipment, it costs close to like $1 million to have like a studio, and like actual 3D equipment that you can use to capture.
It has like it's like motion tracking. And stuff,
motion
right?
tracking and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I've heard it's $1 million or over $1 million for all of the equipment, and they provide that as part of the agency. So you can't have those kind of things if you're independent, because it's just not like realistic, right?
Well, you can, but it's not realistic for a person that's like starting off as like kind of thing. Yeah.
So the agency is a huge, and then like of course, because of like Hololive existing, like new streamers that have come into the scene. So specifically in the last month, both what they call the 5th gen, which is like their 5th generation of streamers, plus the Hololive English, both have recently entered the scene, and they both have like all of them have reached over 200k subs in like under a week, which is, you can't do that as an independent streamer. It's not possible, right? Even if you make the best quality content, you're not going to reach that number of subscribers that quickly. Like word will have to get around first, right? So like a lot of this kind of stuff kind of amounts into the fact that like the agency is like a huge part of their success, in my opinion.
But in that case, I feel like 85% would be like a very fair deal, and then it'll be a complete steal for 50. Like that's a complete steal.
I wonder if this is going to go the route of like early machinima. Remember like back when the YouTubers were like trying to contact with these external groups as well, but then like
I don't think this will go.
They dissolve.
The thing is,
and then you know what I'm saying? Basically, like that. This is kind of the precursor to that again.
I don't think it'll be that. Like the thing is, this model is already a thing in Asia, like for real streamers, for VTubers, and it's been working for a very long time. So I doubt it would be the case. That would be the case.
Okay,
I would be curious,
but I think this is maybe the
just
first
from a personal
time.
Perspective.
This is the first, like it could spill over to the English industry, because this is the first time that like any sort of like the Asian kind of streamers and stuff have got okay. Maybe this is not true, and I'm talking out of my ass, but
no.
I think this is one of the first times that like at least that kind of perspective of like the talent agency and stuff has actually been part of the Western medium, because like this has not been seen before, really, like as a popular thing in the U.S. or like or in the Western audience, I should say.
Not in the streaming world. Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious if this will get picked. If this model will get picked up by regular streamers, because like this, it definitely works. And then so I'm wondering who will try to do that first, where they kind of start an agency.
Well,
and then
wasn't
take a cut.
weren't like the big streamers potentially talking about doing their own?
Toast was talking about this on
Yeah,
the
I think-
podcast. Actually, they're like,
really?
yeah, we'll take like a cut and then they'll like make them popular. Essentially, it's like a to me it looks like a win-win situation. So I think it's a matter of who does it first, and not who will do it.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like just like a really good business. Like, okay, if I was,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it works in other industry. It doesn't make any sense why it wouldn't work in the streaming industry.
like the CEO of this agency is probably like, holy shit, he is probably so fucking rich. Like, I just like can't imagine how much money that like the CEO of this industry, like of like this kind of company is making, right?
It's like an entertainment company, right? So it's like
Yeah.
it's in the same veins of like a label or like a network.
Yeah, so I mean, they're just probably making like so much fucking money. It's actually insane. But
It's very interesting how this all subsists off donations as well.
well, it's not just
Yeah.
donations. Like so donations is the part that we can see because
Well, because I mean, my point is like, if you wanted to like enjoy these streamers, like their content, without paying, you totally could. But these people
Yeah.
are electively choosing to pay.
so
There's
there-
also going to be. I wonder who owns the model or like the character. Is it the
The
streamer
company.
or the agency?
the company.
Okay, so in that case, the company's going to roll in bank because down the line there's going to be huge sponsorship deals, and then the streamer is not going to see a cent because I mean the company owns the IP, so
Yeah.
it's going to be But
All
yeah,
right, that's my food. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
so like I think. Sorry.
oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying, like, the difference between like this for VTubers and this for like normal streamers is that like VTubers, like they don't have the chance to like basically like go rogue or whatever. Like they can't really like do anything without the agency. Like the agency is like
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
is in
Like, if the
complete
agency
control over
owns
them,
the
basically.
models, then like if agency owns the character, then it's definitely. I would honestly, I could see a deal in which the agency just takes all the money, or not all, but like takes majority of the cut, and then the streamer gets paid a small cut plus like a salary.
Yeah,
that's
so
probably
from my
what's going on.
understanding, they get paid a salary, but the salary is like a very low salary. And the majority of the money that they make is through like it's based on their donations, their membership, which the YouTube membership, which is the same as Twitch subs, and their merch deals and whatever like other stuff. But it may be even higher than like my estimation was 50-50 because I've heard that like streamers make basically around 30%, 30 to 40% of their donations are kept by the streamer, which YouTube takes a 30% cut as well. So
Wait, where do most of the people in the West watch anime? Like, just give me a
Crunchyroll.
rundown of like the market share. So Crunchyroll, like how much do you think the anime watching population watches on Crunchyroll in the West?
I would say it's probably close to like 40% Crunchyroll, like 30% Netflix, and then 30% like pirate sites would be my estimation or guess.
But I would assume the Netflix fans would be a lot more normie than Crunchyroll's, right?
Not necessarily, because Netflix actually
Is that
now
true?
has
Okay.
like a relatively large amount of anime. So I don't know. I think a lot of people who are hardcore anime fans will actually probably watch on all three of those sites. Like they'll use Crunchyroll, and then they'll use Netflix, and then they'll use like pirate sites for ones that are not, because basically the issue is like anime right now is not.
What are the
centralized.
big pirate sites?
To be honest, there isn't like that many big ones. Okay, so I don't know what the biggest one is anymore, because like one of the biggest sites recently shut down. I don't know if you're aware, but the most famous pirate site was before like Kiss Anime, and it recently shut down because of legal reasons and stuff like that.
All them out.
Yeah, they finally couldn't dodge servers anymore because they kept
I'll
changing
be-
like the region thing. Dude, they were in Russia for a while.
Dude, I'll be very surprised if Crunchyroll doesn't come out with a roster. This is free money out for grabs, like their own roster of VTubers.
Oh, like if they made their mascot,
Yeah, like
Crunchyroll Hime?
imagine on Crunchyroll every time you go on, there's like a tab, and then it was like sponsored streamer or not sponsored. It'll be like VTubers or something, right?
Holy shit! Wait,
And then it'll be like it's like theirs.
This would be
And
so
same
much
thing with
fucking
That's actually like 900 IQ, dude.
Dude, and then same thing with the pirate sites. The pirate sites can make so much money off of this. They already have the traffic. You just need to put a tab there, and then just pay some streamers. It's not that big of an investment as well.
This would be
Like,
I'll be very
900
surprised
IQ.
if they don't do it. I'll be very surprised if they don't do it. Because they have, like, the hardest part is to get the traffic in the first place. Once you have it, you just have to do it. They already have the traffic. You just have to put the streamers on.
This is maybe
I'll be
a
very
fucking
surprised.
ginormous brain
Tiger
idea.
should definitely apply to be part of Crunchyroll because that's actually
I'll be very
gigabrain.
surprised if the Crunchyroll board does not know about this. This is their industry. Like, this is...
Well, because most of the time they're
I'll be
just
very
fighting
sorry it
over
doesn't come
exclusive licenses.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Right, but in this case, they get to keep the money, right? Because they don't have to pay another license. They own the IPs to the VTubers. They just have to hire the person behind it, and then, like, the thing is, for them, the platform is there. They just have to like do it, right?
Yeah, so I mean,
It's much harder for,
honestly,
like,
I don't know if they
somebody else to
have
go into
they
it.
have even considered like. I guess I would be
sure.
kind of surprised if they
A lot of money.
hadn't considered it, but like
Yeah.
I also wouldn't be surprised if they hadn't.
Because this is their like their fan base, right?
Kind
And
of,
if
but
their fan
not
base
really,
likes the
right?
stuff, then they. But like what I'm saying is, like, generally speaking,
I'm with Michael. Kind of, but not really. I
are
feel
there
like they don't actually understand.
are there people
their
that watch
fans
VTubers that
well.
also don't watch anime? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Because I was
Yeah,
under
so,
the impression
No,
that
I'm just questioning whether or not they're that in touch with us.
Yeah, well, okay, yes,
Well-
but also part of it is that VTubers, like, a large part of the VTuber market share is also like fans of like idol culture and stuff, and like those are not necessarily the same as like.
But I'm
anime
talking about the
fans.
West though. Like, are the people that enjoy idol culture in the West not the same people that enjoy anime?
Well, okay, like VTubers, the popularity of VTubers in the West is like just starting. So I would say that it's the market share is like, or sorry, the people currently interested in VTubers are probably mostly going to be anime fans, but I don't know if that's going to stay true in the future because right now the community is
Really?
very niche, but it's going to like, from my projection, it's going to expand pretty greatly or a lot into into like more mainstream things, into people who don't watch anime at all, or like very
Really?
little anime.
I don't think that'll be the case in the West. 'Cause I
it
don't
will
think
be.
there are that many. But like, what type of people do you think would enjoy VTubers but not anime?
Well, I don't necessarily mean like watch anime as like or not watch anime at all, or but I mean like more like, okay, you know, I've watched like a few episodes of anime here and there, but like, you know, casual watchers / like, you know, somebody who doesn't really watch anime anymore, but people like that can still definitely enjoy VTubers because they are.
I think it'll be
mostly,
a
like,
very
Twitch
small
streamers.
percentage. Because you have
I
to
don't think so.
think about what the communities are, right? I don't think there will be a pure like VTuber community. I think it'll be a lot of crossover with the anime community. Like, I just don't see like people that enjoy watching like teen dramas on Netflix and or people that like K-pop to also enjoy VTubers.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
mean,
it's such a different medium of kind of like a media.
well,
That's a
okay,
horrible way
with
to
the
phrase it.
English VTuber streams, they are basically just like a Twitch stream with
Right,
like,
exactly. But
a
that's
few
a
of the things I
huge
talked about
difference,
earlier.
though. Like the streamer behind the Twitch stream is more important than whatever is playing on the Twitch stream, right?
Yeah,
Like
to a large
it's all
extent.
about the person. So I think it's a pretty big, like whether it's Pokimane or Pokimane's virtual self, it's like very, it's a very different experience. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think if you don't like anime, I don't think you would like VTubers. And I think if you like VTubers, you'll probably also enjoy anime to a certain to like somewhat at least.
Yeah, okay. I agree with Tiger on that one. I feel like the audience.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a difference though between that and like the anime industry, like executives and stuff having an understanding of like, okay, like this is going to be something that we can make a lot of money off of.
Yeah,
right?
that's what
Skyler was talking about this, right? You want to
agree with Tiger on that.
Well, now you have the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't foresee Crunchyroll, like, it would be a Giga-Brain move if Crunchyroll did that. Like, imagine if they turned Crunchyroll Hime into a VTuber. Like that's just
really
900
don't think so.
IQ.
Isn't that like the big craze? Like every site is getting their own like streaming platform. Reddit has one now.
Okay, I did not even know that.
Yeah, it's Artspan or something. Arpan or something. I have no idea. Yeah, Reddit has a streaming thing now. Pornhub has a streaming thing.
That's
what about I have no idea, but does OnlyFans have a live stream function? I'll be very surprised if
I don't know.
Doesn't.
I'd be surprised.
There's Instagram Live, there's Facebook Live, there's Facebook Gaming, there's YouTube, there's Twitch. Like every site literally has a streaming platform now. That's like the hot new thing, right? It's not new, but it's like the hot thing.
But those are already like social media platforms, right? I mean, because Netflix doesn't have a streaming platform, does it?
No, but Netflix does. But there's a reason though, right? Because Netflix is
well, Crunchyroll is just Netflix, but for anime, basically.
Right, but if there was if there was a streaming like medium that was similar to like action films and drama films, I'm pretty sure Netflix would get into it.
Well, you can't stream those things, right? You have to like maybe.
Yeah, but
one thing that like there are no streamers or streaming ways to exactly, like there's nothing close enough to like what Netflix already does for them to like add a streaming version of it. Like you can't have a streaming version of Stranger Things. It's just like that's not a thing. It's not possible, right? But like Crunchyroll can definitely just add a VTuber section, and then they own all of the stuff. So it's like it's
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, maybe this is.
If you don't think they'll do it, then you should do it. You should find a way to do it.
Maybe a multi-million-dollar fucking.
Yeah, that's
idea.
for sure. That's definitely where, because like the only reason the agencies have the power in the first place is that they have the fan base already, right? So they're pushing their IPs to their fans that's going to eat it up. Well, Crunchyroll's already have paying subscribers that use their platform.
Yeah, so
and
like
then they have the traffic.
Even like the big agents.
Yeah, hire the stars.
Like the big agencies now didn't start off as big agencies.
Right.
But like if you start off with
Crunchyroll
like a huge, yeah.
I feel like if Crunchyroll started tomorrow, they'll be bigger than this in the West.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
Right, because if what you're saying is true, that 40% of the people use Crunchyroll, then that's a huge fan base, a potential fan base.
Yeah, I would say
it first.
I mean, I would probably say this would be like, this would make them like millions and millions and millions of dollars if they did it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
If this does happen, we're gonna have to revisit our simping topic because this is like industrial level simping.
It's already, the thing is, this is like 100% a thing in the East. Because I know about these agencies in the East that make a shit ton of money. They basically hire like young attractive girls, right? And then to be the streamers, they pay them a salary. They get I mean, it's the truth, right? Like generally speaking, that's and then you put them, you give them the setup, you give them the platform, and then you have them play like League or something, and they make bank because there's a lot of Sims, right?
Yeah.
You have them play League. You have them play.
Today, dude.
You have them play like Overwatch or something. You have them play the mobile league. You have them like just chatting. It's like it's already a thing in the East. It's just a question of when it'll be adopted in the West. Because definitely it's a working motto.
Asians always ahead of the curve.
Also, don't get me wrong. Like the people who are behind these like VTubers and stuff, like they all like work really hard to make sure that it's a successful. But like.
Obviously.
My point is that
so many things you got to do behind the screen.
Yeah. My point is that like your content being good enough is like often not good enough to become famous, right? Like there's a lot of other factors that are involved, and I think like this kind of agency
that's for sure.
idea is like so good for like streamers to become popular, because you basically get like a free platform to like start.
It's also just
your
like
content.
this is also just like how like capitalism works. Like you get people that are talented in front of the screen to do that part, and then you get people that are good at running the things behind to do that. You get people that are good at marketing to do that. You get people that are good at writing stories to write up the drama or the I don't know, the collabs, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense. This is just like the natural progression of like streaming and stuff like that.
All right, so now after this, we got to submit our multi-million-dollar idea to Crunchyroll and then make fucking bank, right?
Dude,
Tiger?
they're not gonna. Dude, we're not gonna submit. I mean, they're just gonna take it. I mean,
You just be like, yes, thank you.
no,
We're gonna do that.
you have to make your own. Like, you have to find a way to like. I don't know. Like, if you actually don't think they'll do it, then you should find a way to do it.
Yeah, but it's different, right? Because like for people like us, we don't have. We don't really have the money to be able to invest, because like I talked about before,
or
but
the
like,
connections or anything.
the amount of money that you
can
need
talk to. You can talk to one of those. What is it called? One of those pirating sites and ask them, because they're a lot more indie, right?
Yeah, maybe.
And assuming they don't know anything about VTubers, you can say like, well, then I'll guide you through this process of building like your VTuber platform.
Who knows? This could be.
I'm just saying the opportunity is there.
Yeah,
I'm saying it's hard to do, obviously, but like the opportunity is there to do it.
I mean, this is the kind of stuff that like,
you have to know the business well though to do it, and I have no idea how the VTuber works, but like if you know, then if you have the expertise, and you might be.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, exactly. If you know like how it works, then you might be able to do it.
Okay.
For us, I don't think it's going to be a thing. But
wait,
yeah,
what?
Let's move. I just said for us, I don't think it's going to be a thing.
I mean, not for me. I don't even watch VTubers, but yeah, okay. Sure. Next topic, anime, which is not a topic that I'm going to talk about, but you guys can talk about it.
So what did you want to talk about, Skyler?
So I was going to talk about ReZero and Oregairu and SAO. But then before that, quick note, I watched all of Gangsta. It was pretty good. It ends like right before shit's getting good, but I read that apparently the studio went bankrupt. So
unfortunately,
it is like gone now, which is why like season 2 never happened. But I really enjoyed it. I started reading the manga, and I actually think the anime was doing it better than the manga.
That's pretty
for
rare.
a few reasons. Yeah, for a few reasons. One, the action, at least in the first few chapters, looks way better in the anime than it does in the manga. Like there's this one scene where one of the main characters like kicks the car to like intimidate someone, and like he's super strong, right? So he like flips the car basically with one kick, and in the anime it's done super well. Like there's this punchy sound, and like the guy in the car is like freaking out, and then it flips up and then kind of flips back down. And in the manga it's just like half a panel of like a dent in the car. It just wasn't as good. The other thing is that one of the characters is deaf, and his voice acting in the anime is actually done really well. Like, it sounds like what I imagine a deaf person would kind of sound like, and based on like YouTube comments and whatever, they're pretty close. I mean, the other analog is that deaf girl's name in Silent Voice. Yeah. Like that was also probably a challenging voice job to do, and that was also done well. But like the deaf voice in Gangsta, very well done. Killer OP and ED. It also reminded me a little bit of Katana Zero. I know Katana Zero keeps fucking coming up, but this kind of like damaged lone swordsman type archetype. I feel like I'm just a sucker for those kind of stories. Yeah, I'm gonna keep reading the manga. I'm gonna see where this goes and whatever. Maybe down the line some studio will pick it up and give it a season 2. Probably will never happen. It wasn't that popular when it was airing. It's a nice little show. It's a good little show. I recommend it to people who want like quote unquote more mature anime, because there was not really fan servers, even though the characters are like very sexually active. Like one of the characters is like a prostitute, and the other one's like a gigolo, and they're in this like really disgusting, horrible city. Anyway, yeah. That rambling aside, I feel like that's what I want to say about Katana Zero. Okay, ReZero. So I am caught up with ReZero. Michael, are you?
Yes.
So, okay. Why the fuck does Beatrice not make sure Elsa is dead? That was my question throughout the whole episode. And then she just
What
gets
do you
stabbed
mean?
from behind and dies.
Oh, like you mean like when she used her shadow? Like she just thought that she was dead because her
Yeah.
head was in the fucking like it was turned to shadow, like I don't know, crystal or whatever. I don't know what it was, but like
Dude, you
it
live in a
was-
fucking magical universe. You're not gonna like make sure they're dead.
I mean, there's the other girl.
I thought that was kind of a cap out.
I don't know. Like there's the other girl like literally in front of them that's still their enemy, right? Like you can't just ignore
And they start
her.
monologuing at each other, dude. Also, I thought it was kind of amusing how you can just find Beatrice in the mansion if you just open all the doors.
Yeah, I mean that was something that was already like established earlier.
Was that already established? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And I just thought that was kind of funny. I was like, oh, okay. And she's making this big deal, like, this is my space. You can't just intrude on my space. She's like, yeah, I just opened all the doors. And I'm like, okay. Guess that's the end of that. But, yeah, I am not enjoying ReZero as much as everybody else. And
I think it's
I think
a
there are a
fucking
few reasons for that.
masterpiece. It's been even better than season one so far for me, and season one I already had a lot of high praise for. So I think it's been above my expectations for sure.
really, so I feel like I've had the opposite opinion for literally everybody I've talked to. And it's, I don't know what it is. Like, maybe, like, I think, well, okay, I have a few ideas. I think, I don't remember a lot of the details from season one, which, I mean, you rewatched the thing, so maybe that's fresher in your mind. And that also applies to Oregairu, which I'll talk about later.
Oregairu was
the other thing,
I don't know if I would say disappointing, but it definitely didn't live up to the hype that I had set out for it. Like it's been good, but like
sure.
nothing exceptional, I would say. From my
yes,
end, at least.
I agree with that. But let's finish off ReZero first, and then I'm getting a little tired of the shtick. I think I keep thinking to myself, like, this is just a video game where the character's like exhausting different dialogue options and trying to find the right path forward. But then when I'm thinking that, I'm thinking like, I feel like I would have enjoyed this story much more if I was the one playing the video game instead of seeing it through Subaru's lens. But then on the flip side, there are character moments, and my favorite moments in ReZero are Subaru's personal character moments, and those I don't think would be translated as well in a video game, right? Like his
Well, I
relationship
think like
with
for
his
me,
parents.
like a large part of the show also has to do with the psychological like damage slash like the things that happen to him that don't really relate to just the events. Like the REM moment was the big one. There was like the moment of like the emotional moment earlier in this season with his parents. There was like when he basically like takes psychological damage. Like it feels very like I don't know, like I don't know if this is real or not because there's no comparison point, right? Like there's no
Feels real, yeah.
there's nobody in real life that can actually come back to life, but like I can imagine that if somebody actually just died over and over in extremely gruesome and painful ways and see people around them like saw the people around them that like they considered family or like close friends or whatever that like continually die around them, like I can imagine that you probably like go fucking insane, right? Like it's just
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying I agree with that. I like that premise, but like I feel like that's starting to wear off. You know what I mean? Like
I don't really agree.
every time I see Subaru freaking out over someone dying, I'm confused because I'm like, well, you know you're going to save them, right? Like this, you should be like taking notes instead of wasting time.
But you say
out.
that, but like the more recent or the most recent episode, there was that exact like situation that popped up that you say like basically you should be taking notes or whatever, and then like Subaru is kind of taking notes in the most recent episodes, and then like Roswell actually like specifically calls him out. He says like, oh, like why aren't you that surprised about them dying or whatever? Like he has like a weak reaction.
Skyler
I mean,
predicted
like-
the plot. Are you telling me Skyler
Yeah.
predicted the plot?
I'm a writer, dude. I'm good. Anyway,
Yeah. He knows what. Yeah, exactly.
I know what's up. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, that actually endeared me to Roswell's character a lot more. and now I'm much more interested in seeing what they do with Roswell. I kind of think they should go a little bit of like the One Punch Man route, where they kind of like explore a lot of the side characters in ReZero and not just Subaru, because I mean that's kind of hard because everything keeps getting reset, and also from what I've seen in like YouTube comments and stuff, they cut a lot of stuff from the novel. Because like I was reading some of the explanations for certain things in the anime, and they're basically, oh yeah, they cut this, they cut that, blah blah blah, and I'm like, holy shit, like maybe I should just read the novel instead, because there's so many details that I think enhance my enjoyment of the show that are just not present in the anime. And like, how many they like never use the opening and ending anymore, at least, right? Like they need every minute of screen time they can get.
Yeah. They tend to like or they use the ending, but they don't use like the endings cutscene or whatever. Like they just play the music.
Yeah, they don't use the credit scene, and I don't remember them using the opening credit scene that much either. I've seen it maybe like
they use
three
it
times
times
in the whole. Yeah, like the whole fucking thing, and it's been like what 11 episodes. So yeah, it's like they need every minute of screen time they can get. So I don't. Maybe they should go slower. I don't know, but like
I mean, I think the pacing is good. Like personally, I think they've done a good job about like including. Oh, okay. So I don't know exactly all the details because I haven't read the original novel, but like I would say that like in terms of the enjoyment of the show from my perspective, like pacing wise, it seems completely good to me.
So, well, it's easy for us to say because we haven't read the original novel. So maybe like my outsider perspective is like, oh, maybe they cut the wrong things. But I haven't read the novel myself, so maybe I'd have a different opinion of that. It'd be like, okay, this is the best adaptation they can do given their time constraints and whatever. But for me, like, it feels kind of choppy almost. I don't think the pacing is 100%. I say like maybe 80%. But yeah, those are all my thoughts on ReZero. Let's go on to Oregairu. Let's be efficient about this. So, Michael, you want to start? I've been rambling for a little bit.
All right, so I don't know. To be honest, I think like the most recent, the more recent few episodes of Oregairu have been a little bit confusing. Well, I would say the most recent episode, which was 11, was a little bit confusing. Like a lot of the things didn't make a ton of sense, to be honest. I don't know if it was because they left out details. I don't know if it was because of I don't know if it was just because I was tired and I didn't understand what they were saying or whatever, but like I would say in general, while the season was good, it definitely wasn't up to the pedestal that I had Oregairu like before the season started, and maybe part of that is also because a lot of the other anime this season have overperformed my expectations, like specifically Railgun and ReZero have been extremely good, so maybe my expectations of Oregairu were too lofty, but you know, it's a good show. I would say like I enjoyed it, but
you're right. I think so. I talked about this a little bit with Choi. But basically, I think like part of it is I'm with you in that I held season 1 and 2 in such high regard, and maybe if this had come out immediately after season 2. They could just have the momentum, all the plot details are still fresh in everybody's minds. Because I had a discussion with Choi, and basically about specific plot elements. Like I was like, I don't really get Haruno's motivations. I didn't really get her mother's motivations. Everything seemed kind of contrived and melodrama-y, even by anime standards, which is saying something. And then episode 11 felt like the end, but apparently there's gonna be one more episode. And then I realized, like wait, episode, they're only second years, right? So they have like a whole another year ahead of them. So I'm kind of curious what they're gonna do with that. Like, okay, the what is this volunteer club is gonna be disbanded, and Yukino and Hachiman are like together now, right? Quote, unquote.
They're dating. I'm pretty sure.
Dude, they didn't even kiss. There wasn't even a daisuke or like any of that.
No fan service. Where's the fan service?
Yeah, I was a little bit like, okay, we just get like a little hug, which I don't know. I one thing I do like though was like the callback of like, oh, my love comedy was wrong. Like it didn't turn out the way I kind of expected it would. Except it sort of did, because right from the beginning you knew that Yukino was going to win.
Well, yeah, right? Of course. I mean, it's
that she's just set up as the heroine of the series.
Yeah,
it was always going to go that way. I took a few notes as I was, because I binged like the last 4 episodes all together at once, and I took a few notes. Basically, oh, actually, you know what? I think that's say that topic for something else. But I thought the sexual tension was handled pretty well in the series. Over like it felt real.
Wait, aren't there high schoolers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
dude,
right,
I had
never
moments
mind.
like that.
Yeah, but okay.
Not-
I don't know if
Not-
sexual
not-
tension is really the right word for it, but
okay.
just
felt
like
like sexual
relationship,
It's probably not a good word for it.
like the
I found Gahama Mama really amusing. Yui Gahama's mother, and then fucking Hikigaya's like Gaha Mama. Dude, I thought that was hilarious. I thought she was entertaining to watch. I still laugh at the Hikitani joke. Like nobody ever corrects Tobe. It's like everybody's just like fuck off, Tobe. I still think that's hilarious. That I think Tobe's just genuinely like he just thinks that's his name, and nobody corrected him. Hikitani could, and I'm like, oh my god, like they're still going with that, and that was funny to me. I took screen caps of 2 moments. Well, actually, it was basically 1 moment, but like, Iroha and Hachiman in the booth, and this is like her roundabout-ish confession, and I thought it was just, let me read the line. Getting caught up in your irresistibly cute demands of your irresistibly cute junior, ultimately setting for a convenient
Wait, can I say
relationship
something?
that wouldn't be so
Can I
bad.
say something real quick?
Yeah, what's up?
yeah.
So I'm watching a soccer game while you guys talk about this, right? And then this team just got 2 penalties like back to back. And the equivalent of that is, imagine like in basketball, there were just 2 really bad fouls back to back that 2 players got ejected from the same team.
Oh, flagrant.
But it wasn't like connected. Damn, they missed the first penalty, but then they scored the second one. All right, sorry. Okay, continue. I was just saying, this is fucking hilarious.
But
It's just okay. Yeah.
I don't know anything about soccer, dude. Totally lost.
No.
on me.
Just continue talking about the anime.
Okay, so
I had to say something. This is fucking hilarious.
I don't know, I just thought Iroha was cute. I thought that was a moment that kind of showed what she's about and why she's my personal favorite girl.
Wait, Skyler, are you saying you're attracted to an underage girl?
Yes.
I'm saying I'm attracted to a fictional character.
You're attracted to an underage fictional character, is what you're saying.
No, dude.
I'm hearing they're in high school, man. Unless these guys are like 18 and somehow
15.
still like not
She's
even in
15.
the senior year.
Dude, actually, I
What?
saw a
She's
really funny
15.
video. I saw a really funny YouTube video about that. It was like, I'm attracted to an underage character in a fictional series, but her anime came out like 4 years ago, so now she's legal.
That's technically true. Wait, no. But now she's no. Actually, no. That's not allowed, right? Because then you're still attracted to the character when she was 4 years younger.
Yeah, that's literally what the other guy said. He
Yeah.
was like, no.
Wait, you can't do that. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work.
You can't do that. What the fuck?
I plead the
doesn't work.
fifth. Anyway,
Skyler, what the fuck?
the sensei route.
Oh, you just
hints,
said publicly
I
on
still
a
feel like that
podcast
would've,
that you're attracted to an underage.
No, I'm not.
Well, that's what you said. You said she was really cute.
Well, I just said. Well, okay. A girl can be cute without you being like, let's just
Are
move
you
away
saying
from
that you
this.
didn't? Okay, sure.
Let's just move away from this. I just said she was my favorite girl. Okay, I didn't say anything of the sort. FBI, just fucking leave me alone.
Wait, what's the timestamp? This is the
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Intro.
Sorry.
I'm getting intro clipped. Anyway.
again.
Yeah. Okay. So I thought it was. I wanted them to throw a curveball at us, and they didn't, and they just went with the Hachima and Yukino pairing, and I'm like, fine, I guess. Oh, prom went. Like that happened really quick. It was like half of one episode when like the entire season was building up to that, right? Like, did that not feel rushed to you?
Not really, because I always felt like the prom part was more about the build up than it was about the actual prom itself, which is also true in real life, right?
That's true.
I guess I don't.
Very
I mean,
accurate.
Because okay,
I guess
I
yeah.
mean, I
Coming
didn't go
from
to
two
prom,
guys who
but,
didn't
like,
go to prom.
But like, let's be real. Like, people are talking about it for like months in advance, or like a month in advance, right? And then like it's one fucking night.
And plus, as soon
just how it
as it happened, like people didn't really talk about it anymore. Just a sec.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't really think much of it. Like, it was fine.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of rushed. Like, I thought they should have devoted more time to like, oh, this is the payoff. This is what they were struggling for, right? Anyway,
The ending did feel a little rushed to me. Not the prom, but like the last episode. It felt like
yeah, remember that other plot point that came out of nowhere? Like, then Hachiman met with Yuki and his mom again, and they were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
whether they're gonna do another prom with the school." And I'm like, "What?
Where did this come
like,
from?
what the hell is this? You have one fucking
Double
episode
prom.
left, like, and it's just like, it. I thought they're just gonna drop that because, quote unquote, Hachiman lost, right? Like, I thought I thought that was the whole point.
His original goal.
But then, yeah, now they're doing this whole other thing, and I'm like, oh my god, like, and then that didn't really go anywhere. I mean, like, I don't see how they could do anything with it in episode 12. I don't know. Maybe they dance together at the second prom.
We'll see. I mean, like, I'll reserve final judgments for after the show ends. But right now, like, my opinion is that it was good, but it could have been better. Maybe.
Yeah, they have one episode left to really make an impression. I don't have a lot of confidence in it, to be honest.
No,
We'll
it
see,
feels like
I
it's
guess.
been
We'll
wrapped
see.
up. So it feels like there's not much that they can do.
Okay, last anime thing, SAO. I'm enjoying
Definitely
SAO.
love SAO. I'm just kidding.
So, I actually feel like SAO was really trying. Like, they're really, really trying. Like, Kirito has PTSD and everything, and he's, like, actually mourning his friend. And, like, I mean, Season 3 actually gave him a friend, right? Like, what?
Pretty
This
cool.
doesn't happen in harem series, right? Like, if you think about, like, other typical harem series, they don't give him a friend. He's literally just surrounded by women all the time, forever, who all want him for some reason. But now he's,
Wait,
like,
that's
actually...
not
like,
true. That's not
There
true,
tends to
right?
be one
That's
friend.
For harems,
character.
for harems.
I mean,
Because
the
like
best
in
friend
Fairy
character
Tail,
is...
that's not necessarily true, right?
Well, Fairy Tail's not really harem, right? Like,
Oh wait,
Not
oh
really.
harem. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about a shonen. Sorry,
right? Like,
yeah.
No, well, okay. There
well, I
tends
mean,
to be like one.
there's
friend
some
character.
overlap, but I'm talking about the harem aspects of SAO right now.
Right. Yeah, that's my
listen.
bad. That's my bad.
Like the best friend character in the harem shows is usually like the Klein type character, right? Like this
Yeah,
the
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of goofy dorkball who only exists to make the main character look good. And that's true even for like really good harem series, like right,
Yes.
like Clan Ad. Like Tsunohara was great, but he was still like the Klein kind of template, right?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, they build on him and whatever, but like that's the typical template. But they actually gave Kirito like a legitimate friend and fucking killed him off, and it's like actually affecting him. And I thought that was like wow, okay, they're actually trying here.
Damn, they gave him a friend just to kill her. That's kind of messed up, man.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, and it's just his virtual friend and everything, and he's actually like mourning. I mean, like I keep harping on this point, but it's like I feel like they're actually humanizing Kirito, and like this is such a big thing that everybody shits on Kirito for. It's like, oh, he's kind of blank slate and whatever, but like he's really not. And I feel I'm so on what is his name, Reki Kawahara's side to try and like build on this foundation of SAO and stuff. And then there's a new development that was actually kind of hype. So basically, Kirito got stuck in the virtual world for 200 years, and he
What
came out
fun.
and part of his and his memory of those 200 years was deleted, quote unquote. But the guy who was supposed to delete his memories actually cloned a copy of Kirito. So now there's like an AI Kirito that's like sort of villainous, and now I'm like, holy shit, that's actually kind of hype. Like Kirito v Kirito, right? Like what I'm imagining in the writer's mind is like, my character's super overpowered. What kind of villain can I give him? Fucking himself. Got it. And then so he just fucking clones him, and then now there's like AI Kirito, and like, what's gonna happen? Like that's actually legitimately hype for me. Like I'm like,
I mean,
okay, that came out of nowhere, and I feel like that's a plot point that could actually be interesting.
maybe SAO is doing a good job or whatever. Like I've heard good things about Alicization from people who have watched it, but like I gave up on SAO like a while ago, so I just it could be good.
Yeah, I mean,
I have no doubts about that, but from like I don't have any romances about SAO, and I mean like
No, I'm not convincing you to try and watch it. I mean, that's why
Yeah.
I spoiled the shit out of it, right? But like, just as a PSA, I guess that SAO is not that bad.
it's getting better.
There are parts of SAO that's really bad, but like, SAO is getting much better, and the series is really trying to reinvent itself, and that's a theme that I'm seeing a lot in more modern day shonens, right? Like Black Clover, Hero Academia, SAO. They're not very stagnant compared to like
yeah. I
Bleach
mean that's good
or
because
Naruto,
like
right? Like they're and like I don't know. That's why I don't know. I like it. I just like it. All right. End of
That's
anime.
nice.
We can go back to
okay,
turn
so
off the game. We're back.
Nice.
The last topic of today. All right, so
I mean, it might not be the last. I mean, I will assume it will be the last topic.
I think it's going to be the last topic. But yeah. Okay, so here, since this is my deal, I'll explain it. Basically,
You got it.
I was very curious about what like how other people view each other, right? So what I decided to do was basically let's all send. Okay, so I'll paste it in the Google Doc.
Put mine at the bottom of the doc.
Yeah, okay, I'll put mine there as well.
How the fuck do I copy and paste this?
I'll just put it up.
I just took a screen cap.
So what I decided to do was we all came together and we decided that we would like outline each other's strengths and weaknesses, like 2 or 3 strengths and 2 or 3 weaknesses of each other, and compare it to each other in terms of just like personality traits. And then I wanted to see how different those were. Okay, so first off, let's agree that like don't get offended or whatever. Like,
yeah. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah. So
let's get all the disclaimers out of the way.
So we just came up with 2 or 3 personality
constructive
traits, and then So I mean, Skyler, you can go first about like what yours are. Sorry if you hear the lawnmower in the background.
You got a goddamn lawnmower in the back.
We definitely hear it.
Make him edit the video.
There's not much I can do about it.
Yeah, Skyler, you gotta edit. Not a Skyler. Michael, you gotta edit it out now.
Okay. No, we'll leave it in. So do we want to go like person by person or like trifecta by trifecta? So like if we go person by person, it's like, you know, we all talk about me first, right? Like you guys give your perspective, and I give my own perspective.
I think that's probably the best way.
That's probably the best way to do it.
I also I do think that's best. Okay, so are we doing me first then?
Sure, let's do you first.
Okay, so fine. Michael.
Wait, then wouldn't it make more sense for Michael and I to go first?
Yeah,
like to talk about you first.
Yeah, I'm the topic first. This was my point.
Right.
I'm the topic first, and you guys talk about me first.
All right. I can start. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right. Lay it on. Do you want to start with the weaknesses or the strengths? What do you want to hear first?
Let's go with weaknesses first, I think.
All right. Okay. So I think this one was the one that came really fast. It was like Skyler lacks pragmatism. Lacks pragmatism is the first one. Do you want me to explain? I think
try to explain.
This is definitely a double-edged sword. In that case, like in some cases, this could be really good, but in a lot of cases, and I would say most cases, it's not a good thing. Where
lay it on me.
It's like it's like the idealist versus the pragmatic person, right? So it's like it has to be exactly this way, or like it's like it doesn't work. Right. I mean, we talked about this like off the podcast once.
Yeah.
And there's some information that is obviously probably not the best to say it on record, but yeah, that's the first one.
Okay.
Okay, and then the second one is always late. If anybody's been wondering why we haven't been coming out with episodes, because Skyler is late.
はい、申し訳ございません。全部の僕の悪いです。
はい。そうですね。
And then I'm pretty sure that one I don't really need to explain. And then the last one is that Skyler's pretty okay. Like I guess this is kind of bad because I couldn't really come up with one, and this is kind of just the first one, and is that he's kind of stubborn. And it's not like a criticism of him because I'm also pretty stubborn. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take it.
So how do you want to do this? Do you want to go through Skyler's strengths as well, or should I go through his weaknesses?
It's up to you guys.
No. Let Tiger finish. Okay, sure. Tiger's strengths.
All right. So Skyler's strengths. I have 3 kind of. The first one is he's generally enjoyable to be around on his day.
He's tolerable. Okay.
He's enjoyable to be around on his day. And then also another one is that he's very creative and handy. Like he's very good with tools and making stuff. And then the third one. What?
I'm dabbing, but you can't see me. Anyway.
Oh. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, because like, I mean, how many people do you know that made a sword in high school? Like nobody. I don't know anybody that made a sword. Yeah, I mean, other than Skyler.
Yeah, exactly. No, I
that-
don't.
yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Or like you made your own table. It's like, what the fuck? That's like kind of cool. And it's like
You guys
really
like my
good as
go-kart?
Wait, what?
You guys like my go-kart?
I haven't seen your go-kart. What?
Really?
No?
I think I saw
I
it
thought that I
once,
can't
but
do.
I never saw you like drive it or anything.
I don't remember your go-kart. Okay, anyways. So that's the second one. The third one is that Skylar is fat like me, so it makes me less fat. So that's yeah.
By comparison, less fat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
that's the three.
so I'll go now. So we'll start with weaknesses. So I also had stubborn for basically very similar reasons. I think Skyler is like, you know, he tends to not budge from his ideals, and sometimes that's a good thing. But I would say, like Tiger said, majority of the time it's a bad thing. At least that's my perspective, of course.
I keep my ideals so
Yeah, so, okay, now the second thing is that I think Skyler tends to be very critical of stuff. I don't know if this is necessarily true, but at least when it comes to other things, he'll oftentimes try to, like, view things like how it can be improved or, like, stuff like that instead of, he tends to not, like, or, like, you tend to not necessarily, like, view them as, like, the positives first. At least that's how I see you when it comes to like anime and stuff specifically.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. I like because I think my perspective is if it's good, I don't need to mention it, right? Like I'm thinking of like what needs to be fixed, and so I think that's a matter of perspective. But you're definitely
fair.
right. You're definitely
I
right.
mean, that's
Yeah,
kind of
you're
like
definitely
how an engineer thinks, right?
Yeah.
In a way, like you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like if you're designing a plane, you're not gonna be like, well, this plane flies really well. You're not gonna say that. It's just like this could be better. This could be
Yeah.
better, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it makes
So-
sense. It makes sense why he would think this way.
Definitely very fair criticism. Wholeheartedly agree.
And then the last
did you have
part
one more?
is I have this down, but let me explain myself so that it doesn't sound so bad. But like, I think you kind of have like a lack of empathy in certain situations in the sense that like, okay, yeah, it sounds really bad, but okay, what I mean is that like, oftentimes I feel like you don't always look at it from other people's perspective, and like you tend to like think of what you would do in those situations, which is not always the same thing as like having empathy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So
Because I think my default response is, why don't they have my response? And then I have to
Yeah.
work backwards from that instead.
okay, so strengths. I think Skyler, okay, kind of related to what Tiger said. He was very funny. Like you always try to be like bring up jokes or whatever, and like try to make the room more enjoyable.
Does that work, by the way? Because I feel like sometimes I'm trying too hard.
No. It doesn't feel like you tried too hard.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay.
I can agree with that. It doesn't feel like you tried too hard.
Mission success, boys.
And then
That's right, keep going.
the next part is you're very self-confident. I think that is like a strength where you have like a lot of belief in yourself, at least when it comes to maybe not in every way, but like when it comes to your work and the things that you work on and stuff, like you tend to be very confident that what you do is like actually good, which is a good trait. And the last part is that you're like bold and or adventurous in regards to like ideas, or like basically that this was in relation to like
Wait, adventurous in ideas. Isn't that the opposite of being stubborn though?
No.
Stubborn
Being
would be
stubborn
like
is like you're he's like stuck, like once he believes something he's always going to like stick to that. But like adventurous is more like he's willing to explore new ideas that are like maybe not as like down the beat, or sorry, not as like normal or whatever. Like he's stuff like pursuing pre-E and doing all of those like projects and like building a desk and stuff.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
It's not stuff
so
that
it's kind of
normal
the same
people
thing
would
as
do, right?
What I said, but it's like with different words.
Yeah. So
I see.
That's basically my perspective. So I mean, like I think me and Tiger have kind of similar perspectives.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah.
You didn't
Thanks,
have him being
Boo.
late. I'm surprised.
Well, okay.
On the weaknesses.
Lack of empathy was also part of like I had being late. As,
true.
like,
that is
was,
true
like,
though.
part of it.
That is true though. Yeah, because like if Skylar like valued our times, he like would make sure that he wasn't late.
I'm just gonna get shut on for that forever. I don't know what to say beyond I'm sorry and my alarm didn't get off. Like I didn't try to skip. But, all right. So I guess my turn to talk about myself, right?
Yeah.
So I actually had a lot of trouble coming out with like strengths for myself. So the only thing I put down was like I think that I'm very principled and I'm very fair. And
That's a nice way of twisting the idealist way.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing, but
I mean,
with
I
a
think
twist.
it's fair to say that like almost everybody, like you can say that like some parts of your strengths, like
right, like yeah, you
are-
could
are
say
your-
stubborn is
Right.
determined.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
Right.
it depends on how you
the spin
twist
you
it,
put on
right?
it.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm a very principled and very fair person. I think that when it comes down to it, I'm someone that people can rely on. And I that may or may not come across because I'm rather lighthearted and jokestery. Well, I try to be, quote unquote. But I do think that my heart's in the right place where it counts, and I don't foresee that changing about myself. But that was actually the one strength I could come up about myself. I didn't really put down any of the stuff you guys said, which is very appreciated. Thank you very much, by the way. But I didn't.
I'm surprised you didn't say about the creative slash handy thing, but I think you didn't say it because it would seem like arrogant.
vain, a little bit.
more
Yeah,
so
but
that
that's definitely that's like the one that's like the most obvious one to me.
Yeah, same.
Like compared to
That's-
just other people, that's like the very obvious one.
I think that's more so because I'm the one in my shoes and I can see how much more there is to learn, and so I don't
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't
true.
pat myself on the back for that. Right? It's like
Right, but
'cause-
I'm not saying like you're like an expert or like a genius at that. I'm just saying like it's like a trait that usually people don't have.
I know,
you
but
make
it's like
bullshit
it's
and
also
stuff.
my perspective, right? Like I focus on the
right,
things
right.
that I'm missing, and so when I
Right,
think
yeah.
about like my strength, I'm like I start poking holes in my own strengths almost, and I'm like, well, that's lacking, and that's lacking, and that's lacking, and that's lacking. That's which is why I didn't really put it down. I do think like there's not really a lot to. For me, I mean, you guys obviously feel differently to critique about my heart and my ideals and all that. But moving on to what I think are my weaknesses, I definitely consider myself very lazy. Actually, like super lazy. And I think that comes across in the fact that I'm fat. Because so I actually wrote about this in my.
That's not. I don't think that's true, right? I feel like
So
you
I wrote
can,
about-
because like fat is not. It's not like an inherent trait. You know.
It's.
I mean,
I
it
would
can be a
definitely chalk
product
up-
of laziness.
I'm not
I
going to speak
guess.
for anyone else, but I'm going to chalk up my weight to my lack of effort to prevent said.
Oh,
weight.
that's what you're saying. So you're saying you're fat because you're lazy, not because.
I think that's
you're
one of
lazy
I think that's
because
I think
you're
that's
fat.
one of the symptoms. Yeah, I think that's one of the
Right,
symptoms
yeah.
of my
That I could
laziness.
agree with. Yeah.
And I think I give
That
up
sense.
early and often. Like I just dropped a class because basically I didn't want to deal with the work and my group mates were ass. And I didn't
mean,
want to go through
that's-
the work of repairing that relationship, even though the professor was very nice and he gave us like team building stuff and whatever. And I was just like, this is going to take more time for me to invest into this and to
Like,
repair this relationship and try to make it work. And I just wasn't prepared to invest that.
can you undrop it? You can't, right?
No, and I mean I don't regret it though. I like.
It's like no. The thing is like okay. So this is like I'm not trying to like tell you to do stuff, but just like from a advice perspective, it might be a very good idea to try to repair that, just so you learn how to repair stuff like that in the future. Because I mean, we're all going to be working with other people in the future in groups, and probably with people that we don't like. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'm
Anyways.
with you there. I don't think it's it's addressing a skill that I lack. Right? Like, I don't think that I can't work with others. It's more that I don't want to in this case because it's going to take more than I'm willing to put in. Like
Okay.
I have every confidence that if I decide to continue taking the course, I could have calm my emotions and work through and lay out what was wrong and we can address it. And I don't know, maybe we end up even being friends or whatever. But I just wasn't prepared to invest that. You know what I mean? Like I was just pro-conning
Yeah,
the
that's
whole
fair.
thing in my head, and I was like,
it's kind of interesting that you say that you think you're lazy because like I don't really have that perspective on you at all because I feel like you are always motivated to do your work and and like even go beyond that and do like extracurricular things, especially like tennis. So like I mean maybe you got lazier when you went into college or whatever, but like from my perspective I don't really see that as part of your personality. I don't know if Tiger can speak on that.
I don't know. Okay. I guess I don't know. I guess it's more of some of the recent things that made me think like, yeah, I could see that. Like, remember like last week we were doing or 2 weeks ago we were doing the mic test.
Yeah.
And then I told him to turn off the AC so we could see how the mic sounds. He's like, oh, I have to turn off the AC. I'm like, we're texting your mic. How are you gonna test your mic with the AC on? Anyways.
I don't remember that event
like,
specifically, but
seriously.
I'm pretty sure it happened. So yeah, but no, like I mean, like it's things like that. It's things like I order a lot of food because I'm too lazy to cook for myself, kind of thing. Like I'll leave, like I'm not diligent in the way that I see a lot of other people being diligent. And I think for me, and this is something like people in my personal life have pointed to me, is like the things I care about, I will invest a lot of time into, and the things I don't will just fall by the wayside. And
Wait, is that because you don't have time to do it, or is that just you don't want to do it?
Yeah, it's just I don't want to do it, and so I
I mean, that's fair. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm kind of in a way that is, I'm like that as well. So
yeah, I mean, I definitely consider myself rather lazy. I think there's more I could work on for that. I think I could work on like my focus and like how much time is actually productive, right? Like if you study for 3 hours, you didn't actually study for 3 hours. You studied probably like 1 hour, and like the rest was like you were kind of distracted or rereading because you weren't paying attention, or you're on your phone or whatever. You went to the bathroom, like so. Like that's the type of thing I think. Like I want to increase that percentage of efficiency. So I guess so. That's my first point. And then I think another thing is that I over intellectualize things sometimes, and like so I actually wrote about this in one of my essays in my application to MIT. Actually, is that that I didn't like there. I always try to think my way through problems, and for a lot of problems, that is a very good way to solve the problem. Right? You think about the problem and you think about how to solve it. But then there are some things that you can't solve. Right? Like, and the two examples I put down is getting a girlfriend or losing weight. Right? There's not much to think about. You just do it. Right? You go on your diet
about
and
the
you go and you
losing
lift
weight
weights.
No. Okay. For the losing weight thing, okay, we can talk about this later. Actually, because I started this thing recently, and it's been working pretty well in terms of getting me to actually do stuff. But anyways,
I mean, look, well, I mean, I'm trying to address those things, right? Like, so I mean, I started lifting, and I actually had a good amount of fun doing that, and like, more and more like frat bro elements have started to seep into my personality, which is kind of funny to me because, like, that's like the stereotype behind like those type of lifters is that type of personality, and I can totally see it / feel it. But like, to me, I think sometimes I think about things too much, and I should just do it. Right? Like I try to think about like blah, 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 blah. I get caught up in my own head, and I think about like the consequences, and I think about my fears too much, and I don't just kind of clear my mind and I do it. And I remember back in my younger days, I used to think very poorly of athletes because I was like, you like run for a living, you like throw balls for a living. That's
Wait, what
that's
the
what
fuck?
you do. That's
Seriously?
so dumb. I used to think that.
Really?
I remember I was in like fourth. I think I was like third or fourth grade. I remember distinctly. I thought that, and I thought that was like
because I think that's weird. Because usually when people say like, look at somebody with like extraordinary talent and extraordinary like I don't know like skill, it's like usually people think of like athletes and stuff like that.
No, yeah, I remember back in the day, I like never really respected athletes.
Because like usually people
I always
like
look down
the
on that.
average person, I think they think like a CEO like does nothing, right? Obviously, we know that's not the truth, but yeah, it's generally like it's kind of weird that you thought athletes were useless, but
Yeah, I remember thinking like that. I was like, that's just so you devote your life to throwing a ball, like, and then that's your legacy, and people for some reason people think that's special, and like you win money and accolades and all that. But what turned me around to that type of thinking was like the sheer amount of dedication and willpower it takes to achieve that level.
yeah.
That is now what I am impressed by for athletes. I still don't really care that you can throw a ball from however X distance or like jump really far, run really fast, like.
But I mean, but that's
to me that's not the amazing part. The amazing part is what it took to kind of get there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So
Yes.
that's my kind of turnaround for that. And then I think the third thing is something you can all probably agree on is that I have an aggressive side and like a more emotional side, and it's not a problem, quote unquote, but it is something that like exists, right? Like I do martial arts, I cuss, I swear, I get tilted when I play video games, right? Like You guys have all seen this, so like.
Actually, I haven't played any games with you, and then I don't know.
Where I tilt. I was mad tilting in Overwatch.
Yeah, but like,
anyway,
I don't see that as like a
one of the
huge
reasons
issue.
why I started. Yeah, I don't think it's a large issue either. I actually, maybe if I thought about it more, I could convince myself that it was a strength, because I do think it's necessary in people to be able to recognize their dark sides.
Probably
quote
rather
unquote,
have
and, like,
that than have no
integrated.
emotion, right?
Yeah, like, and have that kind of integrated with yourself and be aware almost. That's the end of me, I guess. I think.
All right.
Good therapy session, guys. I feel lighter, and I don't know. Good,
Lamau.
yeah. Well done all around. We're gonna do Michael next.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
I can start. Do you want to talk about weaknesses or strengths first?
We can continue the same
Mi-
format.
Michael,
Weaknesses first.
Okay. Weaknesses first. So weaknesses I have. Okay, so I have like I honestly had a lot of trouble trying to come up with weaknesses.
Holy shit, can
For
you mute
Michael.
that goddamn lawnmower, dude?
Yeah, Michael,
Sorry.
just like be on.
It's not recording a lot of it.
Oh really? Are you
Yeah,
sure?
yeah. Well, okay. Like I muted like
There's
my recording like in a bit
Oh,
for
okay.
a bit of it. Yeah. But like it's gonna
okay.
catch some of it, but yeah, I'll try to
Right.
like.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So I couldn't really come up with that many. The first one is already kind of bad. I put tends to avoid new things or try new things.
I agree with that.
And this is not necessarily a bad thing, because like I don't think trying new things is a good thing. Do you know what I'm saying? So this isn't technically a bad thing. It's just like this is a perfectly fine way to live. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't be I'm not saying that you should be trying new things, but I just had a lot of issues coming up with weaknesses. But that's one. Do you want me to further elaborate on that?
Michael just doesn't have weaknesses.
Okay, let me give you
Flawless
an example,
human
right?
being.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
how
just give an example.
you know how you always say you suck at FPSs, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then you just like refuse to play like FPSs. Like that's totally fine. Like I'm not saying you have to play FPSs, but yeah, it would be obviously. I think it would be better in the long run if you were more open to trying things that you think that you'll probably dislike. I mean, worst case, you download a game and then if you don't like it, you stop playing it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's that. My second point is that he says Lamau too much. And then if you want, you can show the screenshot I said. You can show that on the
Says
screen.
Lamau
That's pretty
too
funny.
much.
That's pretty funny.
That's a character flaw.
I have a screenshot. Just look at it.
My
This is
speech
completely
patterns are definitely
unprompted.
very weird.
Holy shit.
This is.
Wait.
I just want to say that this screenshot is completely unprompted. I did not ask him to say. I mean,
I'm gonna pin that.
anything. But anyways, he says Lamau 3 times in a row.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, and then the last one is that for somebody that games a decent amount, Michael's really bad at mechanics. Like
Yeah.
at the mechanical aspects of games.
Yeah.
Again, I could not come up with a third weakness, so I put that.
I mean that's just true.
I mean, yeah, it's not a weakness. It's just like whatever. I mean, I'm like worse, so it doesn't. I'm not saying much.
I'm not, that's not it. I don't even know
Anyways.
if that's true, but
Yeah, there's probably not. I have no idea, but we're both bad enough that it doesn't really matter who's worse.
yeah, we're
It's
best
funny.
bud.
Yeah. Okay. And then for the strengths, I could only come up with 2.
Okay.
And this is not because I could not find strengths. It's just like because I'm trying to find things that are like you're like way above average in. So the first one is I think Michael's very good at logical thinking. So yeah, I mean,
Coder
coming
gang.
up with I mean just I think this part is pretty obvious. And then the second one is that I think Michael's very efficient at working. More than most people that I know. Like he could crank out like an assignment or something pretty fast without being like, I need to be inspired. If you know what I'm saying.
I need to be inspired.
Are you ever given like an assignment, just like you have to like be inspired to like really work on and put good work in? I feel like Michael doesn't really need that. He just like
No.
does
So
it,
funny.
and then he's like a few hours later, he's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like a paragraph in, and you're like done with it. Anyways.
That's the musician versus the coder right there.
Anyways.
Okay.
That's the two I have for Michael. All right. What about you, Skyler?
Okay, Michael. We're doing weaknesses first, right?
Yeah, weaknesses first.
Sure.
Okay, so the bullet point I put down is very much in his own world, but what I mean by that is you really do things at your own pace, and there are few external influences, and you're rather selective about the opinions that kind of matter to you, I think. So I think that
can I just say something? Michael said that that Skyler has too strong opinions, and Skyler said Michael's opinions are too weak. Essentially, right? You're saying here, like there's a lot of things he doesn't care about. Is what you're saying?
No,
right?
I'm saying he's insular about the opinions he accepts.
Right. Well, I'm saying that, but you think there are a lot of opinions that he does not care about, like a lot of things that he doesn't care about, right?
Yeah. He's very much in his own world.
Right, but Michael said that you were
also very much in my own world.
No, it's like the opposite. That you were very critical. So like everything, there's like you have to have an opinion on it, right? It's basically
yeah. I mean,
that's not what I took away from his criticism.
Like
okay,
not really, but yeah.
Okay.
Just continue.
Anyways,
and then the second one is kind of an extension of the first one, but I feel like he's really regimented and kind of inflexible, and I feel like that's something Tiger also kind of touched on. Is that he very clearly has quote unquote my things and my priorities, right? There's very clearly defined boundaries around the things in his life, and I think Tiger kind of touched upon that. He doesn't really try new things as much.
As often, yeah. I'm not saying he doesn't at all.
But I mean, it's not like a hard thing because he does try new things, right? Like he's learning Japanese, translating manga, he's making a game.
It's also not a
like,
bad thing necessarily.
There are things, but it's like it's at his pace, right? Like he'll do those things if he wants to by his judgment and like nothing else, right? Like whereas like I'm trying to I tried and failed to convince him to play Overwatch, right? Whereas like if you guys be like, oh Sky, you want to play Among Us? I'd be like, all right, I'll drop $5 and buy it, right? Like I'm pretty easy to be convinced by these types of things. And then the third thing, and this is absolutely irredeemable. You have a shit taste in anime, dude. I'm sorry.
I have no idea.
It's absolutely terminal. We can't do anything about it. Yeah.
Okay.
But moving on to Michael's strengths, I only put down 2 because I felt like those were the ones that really we're talking about. So similar to Tiger, I put down focused, and he commits to doing the things that he sets out to do, and by himself if necessary. And I think that's important to note because you say before that I have that you have experiences with like projects where people don't do the work and you just do it all yourself, or like people leave you in a project halfway through and you just do it all yourself. Like so that's kind of what I mean. And then the second point I put is introspective, is that you're very capable of personal course correction and evaluation. So you're able to take a step back and look at yourself and be like, oh, these are my influences, and I let these things direct my thinking too much, or I don't like the current course I'm on in my life, or what have you. And that you're very capable of recognizing those things about yourself and changing the direction of your life and your actions as you deem appropriate. And I think that's something worth noting because, certain people, you point out their flaws and they get defensive and they don't like to talk about it, or they want to hide it or obfuscate or delay either way. But I don't think Michael's like that. And I think that you can come to him with criticism. Whether or not he'll accept it is one thing, but if he does, he'll definitely process that and kind of integrate that into his algorithm and how he views and operates within the world. Yeah, those are my points.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll go on myself. So for weaknesses, I had that I feel like I'm a little bit condescending or arrogant. I feel like I always look down on other people, especially.
I agree with this to a certain degree. Yeah.
Especially people like I feel that I'm at least like just as a baseline, I'm going to be like better than like 95% of people at most like if I'm in like a coding class, like as a baseline, I just assume that I'm better than like 90% of the people in the class already, and it's like this is like
it's probably a fair assumption.
But like I have
a fair assumption anyways.
I feel like to an extent that also is like that's like a weakness for me, because I feel like I often discount what other people do and just assume that they just suck at it, which is, sometimes it's true and sometimes it's not. The
I
second,
think it's as long as you surround yourself with people you respect, I don't think that'll be a problem. And especially as you move up in levels of achievement and like the type of people you like after school, right? Like the people around you are the people you choose to surround yourself with. So I don't think that'll be a problem for you as long as because like it's not like I don't think you don't respect the people you choose to surround yourself with, right? Like otherwise, why would you associate with them?
Of course. So the second thing is, which is kind of contrary a little bit. From my perspective, I feel like I'm easily distracted by not in terms of like the day to day, but I feel like oftentimes I don't have a very strong goal in mind. Where when like many times over the course of a year, I'll have like 3 or 4 different focuses, and like very like I'll take on a lot of big projects where I feel like I don't really uh like I have no real business doing this kind of stuff because it's going to take too long and I'm not never going to finish it. And like some of those things I've taken on a bunch of those tasks where I've never like ever where I've never actually seen them out to conclusion. And I feel like I do that like quite a lot. I don't know if this is like something that other people see in me, but that's my perspective on it. And in kind of relation to that, I feel like I have like a few motivation issues, especially like in terms of personal motivation issues. I feel like like I feel like I need other people there to like help me get motivated, if that makes sense.
It's kind of the opposite of what I was saying.
Yeah.
That he's self-motivated and does things on his own.
Okay. And then actually there was another thing I wanted to add that I didn't write down, but the other was that like I feel like I'm too hesitant to do a lot of things in terms of like I'm not willing to take the I'm not willing to take like risks a lot of times. I'm like risk averse in a lot of situations. I think like I'm trying to get better about that in a lot of times, but I feel like in many times in the past I have been unwilling to do things because I feel like there's too much risk associated with it, even if there maybe not, maybe there isn't, or maybe there the like the reward at the end of the street would have been worth it or whatever. But I feel like I am a little bit too risk averse sometimes. And the last one I had for me was that I'm like quite emotional. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't like thinking too hard about that kind of stuff.
Quite emotional. That's kind of funny. Wait,
I mean, okay, that's like I feel like for that, I think it's like you're not too emotional. It's just like there are periods of time where you might have been too emotional, but then it's not like it's like it's very rare and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Well, he was the only one who cried at our graduation, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I haven't
Yeah,
been you were the only one, but
well, I mean, out of the
But
people
then-
that we I think.
I mean, it's not a bad thing to cry.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just pointing
Yeah.
that out.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like
I
don't
think the
it's in-
picture that me and you both paint is of a rather stoic person, which I think most of the time he is.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird, right? Like most of the time he is, but then there's like once in like a year or like half a year or something.
And then
Like,
sometimes he'll do
something
things
happens.
he'll like had these kind of cracks of emotion that surprised me, like crying at graduation. I didn't like if you didn't tell me and you had me place bets, I would have put like 100 on like he wouldn't cry. I'd be like, fuck this place, fuck these people, I'm out.
Didn't you also cry at like the like
Senior
Kevin's year?
graduation, yeah, or like the
Yeah.
graduation above us.
Yeah, you cried at that one as well.
Yeah.
You did, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Skyler, that would be a really bad bet considering he cried at the one that was above us as well.
Well, I mean, assuming I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah, because I mean, if he's gonna cry for his senpai's graduation, he probably definitely would cry for his own.
Yeah.
all right, and then for my strengths, what I had was I'm not ashamed of what I like, and what I mean by that is like I feel like, and this has changed over the years, but I feel like I care not very much about like how others view me in the sense of like I'm not gonna dictate like or not gonna let others dictate like what what I can enjoy and what I can't enjoy, I guess. And I feel like that's a strength for me, but I mean, in a sense, you could also bend that as a weakness. I'm not very much influenced by what other people.
That's probably a good thing to not be influenced, I think.
Yeah, but it was listed under like it's kind of related to one of the weaknesses Skyler outlined, of like being in my own world, I guess. And then the other one is I feel like I'm an optimistic person. Like I feel like I tend to look for things that in a positive light. I don't know if that's something that other people think of me though.
I think I don't think you're optimistic, but I don't also think you're pessimistic. It's just like you're neutral, in my opinion. But there might be something I'm missing here. So.
Well, yeah. But the entire point of this is that like we're not going to have the same views, right? So like, I think it's interesting to see the difference between how you think of yourself versus how other people think of you.
Yep.
And yeah. So like for the points that were outlined about my strengths, like the logical thinking is definitely something that I guess I pride myself in a little bit. I don't know if I would necessarily say it's like a strength of mine, in the sense that like it's something I would brag about, but like it is something that I feel like it is true, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think introspective I think is more interesting because like I never really thought of myself like that, but
So okay, I guess that's the next transition. I was gonna ask, like, does anything about our assessment surprise you?
Yeah, I mean, like for the weaknesses, I think it's very like accurate. Maybe it's not necessarily how I would. Some of these things I don't like. I agree that it is true, but I don't know if that's a weakness. If that makes any sense.
Well, which point are you necessarily disagreeing with? I'm curious.
Like
as
a
strength
weakness
or weakness?
Oh,
no,
okay.
just which strength or weakness that we picked do you think is not that accurate?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't think that I'm like a very focused person. Like Skyler said that I'm focused or whatever, but
Skyler did?
I did. Well, because like if I'm on break, I don't know if I could dedicate like every day to working on a project.
I don't think Michael's that focused. He is focused, but he's not focused enough, in my opinion. He could be focused more. Focused.
Everybody can be more focused, dude.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Though. Like, anyways.
But yeah. So
but my opinion is different, I guess, because I think you have to be. Yeah. Anyways.
It ran contrary to some of the things that like I personally believe about myself. Like, okay, so like the things that other things that Skyler said. Okay, I was a little bit surprised that you put introspective, although like I guess I could see it. I didn't really expect that to be something that you wrote about me. And then the other ones are like I generally agree.
Is it true though? Is it true?
Is it true?
Do you think it's true?
Yeah, I think it could be true. I don't really have a comparison point, so that's why I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think Michael has done anything that's like, or has been doing something that's necessarily really bad for him to make the correction. That would be obvious to us, if you know what I'm saying.
I mean, I can like.
I think the root of that point was like the fact that he's willing to be like, oh, you know, maybe like it's time for me to consider a girlfriend, right? Like, and like, yeah, I didn't think that would happen.
Has he done anything concrete yet? I'm curious.
No,
I mean, first step in fixing the problem is recognizing it, right?
I mean, we both know we're both fat, and that we haven't really done much to fix that.
Hey man, I'm lifting. I don't know about you.
Introspective.
I'm lifting.
Look,
right?
I'm working out as well, but if you're still fat, it means what you're doing is not enough, right?
Okay, well, I started like fucking 2 weeks ago, dude. Like, calm down.
Okay. How long do you think you'll keep this up?
I don't know, man.
Keep this up for?
I took the before pictures already, so we'll see.
Okay, we'll see, right? We'll see if recognizing the problem actually means shit. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it means shit. I'm just saying it's step one.
I mean, sure.
Step one doesn't guarantee that you mean to move on to step two. It's just that it's step one.
It's okay. Sure.
But yeah, like the other stuff, like I generally agree with. I don't necessarily know if that it's always a weakness. Like for example, you put like I don't have very many external influences for the things I do or whatever. And I put that as like a strength or whatever, but like I think it can be kind of both a weakness and a strength. So like I agree with the other things that you guys have said, but
that's a commonality. I mean, right? Because the same thing with you guys saying I'm stubborn. I don't really view that as a
yeah.
No, that's definitely a bad thing. That's definitely a bad thing.
I mean, everybody has their own perspective on like what they feel is like, you know, useful for them. I think that's part of what's interesting about it. Okay, so we can move on to Tiger.
Sure.
So, do you want to go first, or I can go first?
No, you do it. You do it.
Okay, so I'll start with the weaknesses. I feel like probably the biggest one for Tiger is that like I feel like you're a stickler to the rules. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
I don't know if I need to explain this anymore, but like basically, Tiger doesn't really like to go against the rules for basically anything. And I mean, like I would say that to an extent I'm also like that, but I think Tiger takes it to a pretty big extreme. Even though the rest of his like personality is not like goody two shoes or whatever, I would say like when it comes to the rules, it's like very hard for you to break them.
What kind of rules though? Because I definitely agree, but it depends on the rules you're talking about.
I mean, just like like the majority of this comes from like my perspective of you from like 10th, right? Like you wouldn't skip classes or
so like,
or, like
yeah.
And didn't you make a big fuss about how like people were gonna smoke in your room, and then you were like, no, you have to leave?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's my room. If you're gonna smoke in it, at least ask me first. In which case, I would say no. You can't smoke in my room. Because simple as that. Anyways, okay, continue. I'll talk about this later when we address the
Okay, sure. And then my second one was lack of Okay, so this is kind of like weak, but this is something I was thinking about. Like I couldn't really come up with a lot of weaknesses for Tiger, so they're not like super strong, but lack of importance on relationships / like min-maxing life. Question mark. I don't know if this resonates at all with you.
Min-maxing life. What a phrase.
I feel like a lot of things that Tiger does, like he like evaluates like the strengths or like the pros and cons of it before he does it. If that makes any sense. And like I feel like a lot of times when it comes to relationships, it's okay, so I'll say that specifically that this trait came from like when you were talking about the military, you were saying like, oh, there's no point for me to make friends because like I'm never going to talk to them again anyway, right? So that was kind of my perspective on it. So put that down. And then the last one was weakness, quote unquote, but this is also pretty weak. It's like Tiger is very realistic about things to the point of pessimism, like where you'll often like be very willing or unwilling to like dream big or whatever, or like you have like a realistic mindset when it comes to things, which is not necessarily a weakness, but it's just, you know, stuff I had to write down.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
I'll address all of this at the end.
Yeah, sure. And then the strengths I had for Tiger, I think you're very motivated when it comes to music. Like you've been continually like working at it for many years. And I think it's like very difficult for most people to continue like honing their craft for that long, especially when there's no sort of external gratification attached to it, because like it's not like you're making money because of it. It's not like you're earning a degree towards it or anything. It's like purely something that you've been doing for a long time and you've like tried to improve in, which is like, I think most people don't really have that kind of thing, which so I have like a lot of respect for that kind of thing, and I think it's a strength. The second one here I have down is that Tiger, contrary to Skyler, is very empathetic. I think you all oftentimes will try to look for the perspective of other people, and like kind of related to that is that you're always like willing to help and listen, at least from my perspective, to other people, which I find as a pro, especially like when talking to you. But yeah, I think in terms of like being empathetic, like you tend to look at it from other people's perspectives and like see why other people do stuff and that kind of thing. So yeah, those are my 3 cents, few cents, whatever.
All right.
Skyler, you can go.
It's usually 2 cents, right?
2 cents, whatever. Don't worry about it.
3 things, 3
Anyways.
cents. Okay, so listening to Michael talk, I actually agree with all of his weaknesses. But while I was trying to think of some for you, I legitimately couldn't come up with anything. Because I was just like, I don't know. He just seems like a chill dude. Like nothing.
Yeah. No,
really
it was
stuck out
definitely
to me.
hard.
I don't know.
It was definitely really hard for me because like
Not
I'm surprised you guys didn't put stubborn down, because that's like to
I
me,
don't
that's
really
like a
agree with that
very-
though. Like from my
I
perspective,
don't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think that either.
yeah.
See, that's kind of. I think it might just be because we were together at Kent, and then there's not that many things to be stubborn. Because like the stakes aren't that high at Kent, but I've been told that I'm stubborn by a lot of people
Oh, really?
that have like no contact with each other. So it wasn't like we just with this group of people, but like
Okay,
with different
interesting.
groups of people. Anyways,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
I think
anyways.
that's part of what makes it interesting, right? Because like me and Skylar's perspective is different from like whoever told you that. So
Yeah,
right.
I don't.
mean, a lot of people have told me
Also,
that,
because
and
maybe because maybe you guys. I don't know if you agree with this, but I think I'm more stubborn than Tiger, and I think Michael's also more stubborn than Tiger. So
oh yeah,
that
I
definitely
think
colors-
Skyler's more stubborn than me, but I'm still very stubborn.
Yeah,
But I think that might just because
by
like the
reference, that's
stakes
why I don't
aren't very
think you're
high
very-
at Kent. In that case, like if you're ever wrong, it's like not a big deal, right? At Kent. So that's why. Anyways.
I mean, like that. The point I was trying to make was basically like, it's relative, right? Like you see me as
Sure,
stubborn,
I
but
guess.
because I'm more stubborn than you, I don't see you as stubborn. And same for
Oh,
Mike.
that okay. I can see that. Okay, yeah.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's possible.
But what was I going to say? So basically, yeah, I couldn't really think of anything. You just seem like a rather mellow dude, and I actually put that as one of your strengths. Yeah, so kind of a cop out, but I couldn't really think of anything. But full disclosure, I don't know Tiger as well as Michael does. I like the whole high school thing and beyond, and even then, like I'm not super close with Tiger. You know, he's a cool dude, and we hang out and all that. But like, I'm not super close with him. Maybe if I was like really close with him, I would see more of it. I don't know, but like nothing stood out to me as being like, nah, fuck this dude for XYZ reason. So yeah, I don't really have anything, unfortunately. But everything that Michael said when he said it, I thought about it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I agree with that. So there's that. But
Yeah, okay,
moving on to the strengths I put down.
For full disclosure,
I-
we didn't like do any of this stuff together, like purposely for the fact that like I didn't want like my view to influence
Right. Yeah.
other people. So this is like
Yeah.
We definitely.
Okay, yeah. That's right, viewers. All of this is original content. I don't know.
Not scripted.
Not
not scripted content.
not scripted content. But the strengths I put down for Tiger was one, that he's diligent. I think Michael touched on this as well. And you said that you practice singing every day, right? Like, I don't think I
Yes.
do anything besides like eating and sleeping every day.
Yeah, I know, Sam.
Like,
I mean, he's also late every day, so you forgot that.
yeah, he's never gonna let me live this down.
I'm kidding.
I'm never gonna let me live this down.
Okay, I'm kidding.
I'm
I mean,
saying
you were
that's-
early today, right? So
I was
that's
about to
that's a
say I
good
was
move.
early today.
That's a good move, right? That's a move. That's a step in the right direction. For sure.
I'm seeing that stubborn streak now. He's just not gonna let this go.
I'll definitely milk this a few more times. So
And milk it till it
just
does.
be ready. Yes, exactly.
So I also think he's straightforward and realistic. You know, I think that you accept the way that things are, and you don't really worry about what you think that they should be. It's just you're pretty realist that way. You're pragmatic, which is one of your criticisms of me, is that I'm not very pragmatic.
Right.
And then I think that you
Pretty
can laugh.
interesting.
I think you can laugh most things off, and I view that as a strength of yours. Right, that you're like, I've never really seen you truly sad or angry.
Yeah, because
And-
again, like I think I can't like the stakes were just not very high. Like there's not a lot of room to be, there's nothing that can happen at Kent for me to be like pissed off at. You know
Well,
what I'm
I
saying?
don't
stakes
think
are
I've
also
ever
very
seen
personal
Tiger
at
pissed off.
Kent.
Yeah, but
Like,
yeah, because you guys haven't seen me pissed off, but I definitely do get pissed off at times, but just not at Kent.
well, I mean,
Anyways,
the stakes
yeah.
at Kent are like personal. You know what I mean? Like whether or not you, how much it matters to you that you get into XYZ school, or form XYZ relationships or whatever happens, right? They're very personal. High school is very high school, which
You're right.
is trite, but also like that's the nature of things. And like that's why I view it as one of your strengths, right? You're able to take a macro step back and be like, yeah, well,
Oh yeah, I guess so.
it's
Yeah,
not
you can put it that
it's
way.
it's not that big a deal, right? Like you know,
Yeah,
some other
yeah.
people could be like, oh my god, Tiger, my fucking sophomore year boyfriend cheated on me, and this has ruined my life, right? Like, whereas you can be like,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever.
I think to
I
an
can
extent
take a step back,
we all have that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I can like laugh at that and be like, yeah, whatever. Like you're gonna forget about this
Yeah.
guy in 3 months. Like,
Yeah,
who cares?
exactly.
But yeah, see, like perfect illustration of my point right there. Whereas I think a lot of other people can get more caught up in their individual kind of idiosyncrasies, let's say, in terms of like their issues and stuff. Whereas you can really kind of take a step back and you can laugh most things off. And I definitely view that as a strength, right? Because it's like, well, why let these things that don't really matter bother you? So
hmm
yeah, those are the strengths.
Okay. All right, I'll talk about the ones I have for myself. I can start with weaknesses. So the first one is very obvious, and I think you guys didn't put this down because it would be kind of mean to do it. So I'm going to put it down. Is the first one is socially inept, like very, very bad in social situations.
but I don't agree
Really?
with that.
I don't
Like,
agree with
okay.
that either.
Okay, first of all, I'm very bad at speaking. I think it's pretty clear that I'm very bad at forming coherent sentences on the fly.
I mean, you stutter sometimes, but like I don't know. I don't really.
I know stutter is one thing, but a lot of times I
doesn't
cannot
stick
find
out to
the
me.
word.
Like,
Like I'll
it
be
doesn't-
saying, like earlier I said like the medium of a media. I was like, what? Okay, that makes no fucking sense. It's like fucking stupid. Anyways,
I mean,
I don't know.
it
I don't know
happens
how
to me,
much
so
like.
it doesn't really matter.
Sorry,
okay.
what?
I mean, okay, in the sense that like it's socially inept, I wouldn't go so far, but like I feel like sometimes you don't have that much of importance on relationships, but like that's like a completely different thing than
That's
like,
a different issue. Yeah, that's a different.
Then-
I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about like not being able to like go into just like have small talk. Like I can't. I don't know fucking how.
Wait,
to
but
do that.
I actually think you're good at that. What the fuck?
Well, that's probably means you're even worse at it. But I'm really bad at it.
the fuck?
I can fake it for like a minute and then I'm like, well, now I don't know what the fuck to talk about. And like the stuttering thing is a thing that I just don't know how to fix. That's just like
it's fine.
to me that's like a pretty much inherent thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I think the other
I
like
don't-
there is a sense like I'm just very bad at forming sentences on the fly or like good original sentences on the fly. Like I'm not just regurgitating something else, like something that somebody else has said.
Good original sentences. You mean
Okay, I mean,
just
like I don't have that
talking
perspective
like a fucking
at
person?
all. Like
Anyways,
I feel like
that's the one I have. At least sometimes I feel really stupid. Like in history class, I don't know. Like usually people can like talk about like what they think, and then it like comes out nicely, right? And then when I try it, just like like stuttering is one part, but even if I don't stutter, like a lot of times I'm like, fuck. I know exactly what I want to say, but I just can't find the way to say it. Or like I changed my mind like halfway through, and then now it's weird because now the part that should have went first is like second. Anyways, it's just not very good.
yeah, I get that sometimes.
not
I am
very good at
definitely
that.
going to pay more attention to this. I'm gonna watch for that from now on.
Like I think I need to find a way to practice this because even if other people don't practice this, I'm pretty sure there's a way to practice this. I just don't know how yet. So I have
maybe
to
you
find
watch
out.
this podcast back to yourself and think, oh,
And then
that was
like
a better way to
analyze
say
it.
that.
I have to
Yeah.
practice. I have to find a way to because it's not like I can always write it. Like if you give me 15 seconds to write it down first, then I can do it. But if you
Interesting.
tell me to just do it on the fly, I can't do it. So I have to find a way to practice this.
Well, I mean,
Anyways,
in
that's
relation
one.
to small talk, I feel like even then, like when it comes to small talk, like in relation to our group, like our friend group and stuff, I feel like you're like generally better than most people. I don't know
But
if it's
I
that
think
everybody there is like shit at small talk or whatever, but like
Well, yeah.
I think
I
you're-
think
you're
small
on
talk
it.
with friends is not really small talk.
Okay.
You're just talking with friends.
okay, so
small
you're
talk
referring
is
to
like
something else.
yeah, I'm talking more like like fuck, I don't know, or like you're going to meet some people, or like you're joining a club, or you're going to a party, and then you're just having
Okay.
conversation.
I see.
Right, I'm very very bad at that. Yeah. Yeah. Like if I'm just talking with you guys or like people in seating, like that's not small talk. I'm just like talking with friends in that case.
Well, okay, and then perhaps the reason we don't really like see that in you is
Yeah,
because
because
like
I don't small talk with you guys. I don't need
yeah,
to
so
small talk with you
it's
guys.
different, right?
I just
for us.
yeah, exactly. I just actually it's either I talk to you guys or if I don't want to talk to you, like nothing to say, then I just don't say stuff, right?
It's always
See,
real
just
talk
now-
here at the seating Discord server.
Yeah.
Always real talk.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's like the thing is, if I don't have anything to say, then I just wouldn't say it. But
Yeah.
like in small talks, you just have to find something to talk about and then try to like make conversation.
Yep.
So that's one. The second one is lack of discipline / lazy. I think I'm getting better at this. I'm definitely better at this now than I used to be.
I definitely had this down for like in relation to schoolwork, which is where I originally saw it. Like I think there were a lot of times at Kent where you were not very disciplined about it, but like in the end, I decided that like it was
Wait, I'm
like,
curious.
yeah.
What class? History?
I don't remember. Like I mean, we were roommates, right? So like I like
Yeah.
you talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't remember specifically what, but like you know, I had this down originally, but then I was like, you know what, like it's not good enough, so I just like took it out. 'Cause,
Right.
like, I feel like
I think
you've
I'm better at
gotten
it
much better.
now.
Yeah, especially like
But actually,
in the last couple of weeks.
the ones that I'm talking about it not because I write this down not in relation to school actually because I'm not actually talking about school here. Mostly about just like personal goals and also music, which is kind of opposite of what you guys are saying or what. Yeah, that I think I should be doing a lot more and I could be, but I'm not. I think, but I'm definitely getting a lot better at this than I
That's
used
like
to be.
me with my handiwork / creative skills.
I think everyone to an
right.
extent
I think-
looks at themselves and thinks they could be doing more. Well, okay, I don't know. At least for us, like we feel like we could be doing more, but from the outside perspective, you're already doing a lot. So it's like
right, but at the end of the
it's,
day, I
like,
think it's
hard to
obvious
say.
because, for example, Skyler looks at this handy thing and he compares himself with like the like I don't know like the genius engineer, right? And then he's like,
Yeah.
well, I could be a lot better at all the these things. While I'm comparing Skyler to myself or like just a random guy.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I think that like I think there are a lot of people that are doing a lot more than I am. So I'm trying to do more as well. So yeah.
I mean, I kind of agree with
and then
that
the-
on myself as well.
Yeah. And then the third one is stubborn, and I talked about this earlier a little bit already.
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
the reason that we don't really see you as stubborn is because we're more stubborn than you are. So
Perhaps
who
I don't know.
fucking knows?
I've been told I'm stubborn by a lot of people. Like yeah, a good amount of people.
Kind of weak ass, spineless, no conviction. You hang around, man.
No, I mean I think stubborn is usually bad because stubborn just means you're not considering all of the possibilities, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time, that's basically what.
To
it comes
quote
down to.
abridged Kirito, a great man, by the way, lions do not concern themselves with the opinions of a sheep.
Yeah, but lions
all.
are like getting shot dead by like a fat Texas doctor. So who's really winning here?
Way to ruin the metaphor, bro.
But that makes it so accurate, though. All right. Anyway, strengths.
So that's okay. I'll talk about strengths. I only have one. It's like slightly persistent. So this is the same thing as what Skyler said. I'm actually kind of surprised that I'm able to pull it off and just like having like daily shit that I have to get done. But then if you think about it, this is not that crazy. I spent years doing daily quests on WoW, grinding out like daily missions on Hearthstone. I mean, it makes sense that I should be able to do this for like you know the other stuffs.
No, but
Yeah.
I mean, you can say that, but it's really, really hard for people who, especially when you don't have external gratification, to continue doing stuff. You can say it's
It
like
is hard. It
easier,
is hard. Yeah.
but like
It's definitely hard. I definitely wasn't able to do this at Kent. I think I'm able to do it now because I think I realized how important it is.
yeah. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, I consider myself like probably more motivated and like willing to do stuff than the average person, but like I can't do it every day even. So I have like a lot of respect for being able to do it every single day.
Yeah. So that kind of
I don't
plays
even work out
back
every day, dude.
to like what Skyler was. Also, the new thing I was talking about is that I recently started this thing where so the first day is I do 10 push-ups and 10 crunches, right? And then the next day you do 11. So you kind of just add one on, and then until you go up to 100. And then I tried it out recently, and now I'm at 38, and it's actually working pretty well. Because the issue I've had before is that I set a goal or something, or like I have to do this, I have to run or something, or like eat less. But then like the switch is too hard that you quit like in a week, or 2 weeks, or a month or 2 months. But I think with this is like you're building up so slowly that it's like at some point you kind of just have to do it because like you're breaking like a super long streak in that case. Anyways. It's been working.
I kind of get what you mean. Like,
yeah, so like instead of doing a lot, like suddenly do a little bit and then just add to it very slowly. I think in the grand scheme of things, like an extra 90 days to get to 100 push-ups is like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, let me talk about some of the things you guys brought up because I just want to respond to that. So I'll start with Michael's. So stickler to the rules. So this one is. I like for me to not want to stick to the rules, I have to have a very specific reason to not do it. So for example, remember last week I was like, I don't want to go to this orientation thing, and then you're like, just don't go.
Yeah, I mean,
and then so I thought to myself, is there any reason why I should go? And I could not come up with a reason. So in the end, I didn't go. I'm just like, fuck it. There's no grades. There's no attendance. It doesn't show up on your record. I don't need to be more orientated with the school, so I'm not gonna go. But I think for example, attendance and stuff. Like unless I can find a reason why I shouldn't go to a class, there's no reason why I don't go. Like in the end, I'm paying to go to class, right?
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
And then we as you know, I always used up the absence quota anyways because I didn't have a reason to go to chapel, so I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna ditch it twice per term, and that's what I did. Anyways, but generally I do agree with this. I think this is like, again, I think this is a double-edged blade here because it could definitely bite you in the ass if you don't stick with the rules, but you're passing up some extra potential by sticking always to the rules.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
Yeah. Lack of importance on relationship. I'm curious what relationships you're talking about because I think for the Singapore thing, I really just don't like the general vibe in the army, and then I'm just there to do the time and then leave. I probably won't even live in Singapore in the future, and then so that's why. If you're talking about other things, like I don't know, like what other relationships do you think I kind of don't care about?
Well, I mean, I was just like thinking of stuff, right? So okay, like keep in mind that both of the second 2 points were like kind of weak. I just put down stuff because like I couldn't really think that of much, mm-hmm. But like I tried to expand it into more than just like about relationships. It's like more about like min-maxing. Like I feel like a lot of times that you'll approach things
min-maxing
with,
is a good thing.
That's
why I'm doing it,
with
right?
a very much like pro-con like kind of ideal,
right? Like at the end of the day, like, do you guys know what, I don't know, like I'm not comparing myself to like these great people, but like let me just give an example, right? Like, do you know who, like, do any of you guys know who Albert Einstein's girlfriend was?
His cousin.
Actually?
Wait, actually, what the fuck?
I think he married his cousin at one point, and then he had.
No. I'm saying, do you know who Einstein dated in college?
Oh wait.
Okay.
The question was rhetorical. No,
my point.
Is no.
My point. Yeah, my point is that, and if like for me, like my goal is to do. Obviously, I'm not saying I want to be like a genius scientist, but like I want to do something to a very like good. I want to be really good.
Have you
at
seen
something.
the movie? That drummer movie. What was it called?
Whiplash. Right?
Yeah. That's what you just said. Reminded me of Whiplash.
Kind of, yeah. Like in the end of the day, like,
dude, he dubbed Supergirl.
I want to be like good at something, and then I don't think I'll be able to get there if I don't min-max. Because I'm already like a lot of things. like I'm not super like born with some like inherent talent, so I think I have to work to get there, or I just won't be there. So that's why I'm like min maxing a lot of things. Which yeah, I can see that being a weakness, but to me it's like a good thing for now, especially since I have more time than, you know, like like I can afford to not do a lot of things right now. Is what I'm saying. Yeah. And then the last point, realism to the point of pessimism. Yeah, I think I agree. I don't think it's a weakness though, as well.
Yeah. So I did preface
I
both
think
of these things by saying that it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
necessarily
yeah,
a weakness.
yes.
But I put them down under
No,
weakness.
I definitely agree with this, but I think it's kind of a self protection to being like, if I have lower expectations, you know, it won't hurt as much when you inevitably miss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When
Yeah.
you inevitably miss.
I mean,
I know.
to
See,
an
it
extent,
comes
that
back
is
into
true.
it.
But
I
at the same
mean,
time-
I'm sure you guys know this, right? Like, I think maybe for more professional passes is not the case, but I think for most things, you have to you're trying so many times, and then you're gonna fail so many times before you get that one thing that is actually good. That if you if you really think it's gonna hurt so much if every time you put something out or you create something, you're like, this is gonna be awesome, and then it's not.
I agree.
And then I think I showed you the video last time, right? It's kind of cool about all the misses. Anyway,
The Jack Conte video.
I think Skyler should watch it too. Yeah.
It's a really good video. I mean, I actually think like in general this is like a positive thing, but I think having the ability to do like to temper your expectations and stuff is something that like a lot of people can't do.
Yeah, I think the hardest part is to temper it, but also be like, well, I still need to do everything in my possible, like,
to continue
I
to
still
stay
have to do
motivated about
right,
it. Yeah.
right. No, and also to still create the best thing that you can create, even though you know it's not going to be that good.
Yep.
That's like a very hard thing to do, I think, and I definitely have a lot of struggle doing that.
Classic, just do your best, dude.
Yeah, but it's like
it's not so
it's
easy.
easy to say that, but it's actually very hard. Yeah, exactly.
It's very, very, very
It's like
hard.
very hard to be like, I'm like spending so much time doing this thing that I know it's going to be bad, and then but you still need to do it because if you don't be bad at this point, you're never going to be like good. You have to spend a lot of time being bad first. I guess is what I'm saying.
Deep Tiger, very.
And that I was talking about what
Well,
Skyler said.
Not everyone is like that, but I would say like if you want to get better, the only way is that you have to keep trying. Like.
Yeah, but I think generally speaking, that also just means you have to be bad for a while before you're good.
Yeah.
And you have to somehow not quit.
These
while being
lines
bad.
coming straight out of a shonen anime, dude.
No, it's true though. Yeah. But I think this is less true for maybe professional paths. But that might just be being stupid because I don't really know that much about professional paths. But I feel like for an engineer, like you don't have that much time to like fail building a plane. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you
Like
fail.
you can't build bad planes. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you
can't
fail
build a
before
bad
you
plane.
start building the plane, right? Like you fail on the other
True,
projects.
yeah.
You fail before you get the job.
But you never actually fail. Generally speaking, you never actually fail building a plane.
Well,
but
I mean, no,
like if
you
you're
can fail
drawing-
building the plane. You just
Fail
don't fail
sometimes
the
and people
the
die.
Final
Okay, yeah,
plane.
true. I agree. Yeah. I agree. And then I'll talk about what Scott said. I think somebody said about the straightforward and realistic thing. Yeah, okay, so that was Skyler. Okay. Diligent practice singing every day. Yeah, that's just like it's like okay, so for singing specifically, it's just I'm so behind that I need to be literally just doing everything possible to catch up. Because generally speaking, people sing from a very young age, and I didn't, so I have to kind of like catch up. So that's that.
Yeah, but like there's a difference, right? Because like the vast majority of people are like this. Like if they feel like they're so far behind, like they just feel that it's too late and they give up. Like that's just how people feel,
Sure.
right? So like it's
Right,
very
yeah.
rare. Like okay, so maybe it's more common within like some people that you know, but like it's very rare for the vast majority of people to have motivation to continue to get better at something when they're like it feels like they're far behind or something because it's much easier just to give up, right? Like
Yeah. But I think that also plays into what I said earlier, which like if I think I want to be good at something, and I don't think that will be anything. Like it's kind of weird because I'm doing a CS I'm studying CS, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think I'll be anything special in that field or any other STEM field. So that's why I'm definitely min-maxing the other sides. Anyways, straightforward and realistic. Yeah, that's a. So I think that plays into like we were talking about how like if I think the world works a certain way and then I don't like it, I don't try to necessarily change it, right?
Yeah.
Is that what that comes from, Skyler? Skyler?
Skyler. He's just gone.
Skyler? He's eating? He might be, I don't know.
Who knows?
Anyways, but yeah, that's kind of just like me being, yeah, it's just like I cannot try to change everything that I want to change. So it's better to accept that there's some things you just can't change and focus on the things that you think you can change. And that's the reasoning behind that. You can laugh off most things. I think that's the case at Kent because, like, again, like, I don't think the stakes are very high at Kent. So,
What are
yeah.
high stakes to you?
High stakes? High stakes, like important. Okay, so I haven't. There's some things I don't necessarily want to talk about, but there's also like an example of high stakes would be like a life-changing or career-changing kind of decision. Yeah. But yeah, I can't. Like, I think the worst thing that can happen if you don't like get kicked out of the school is like, oh, you didn't get into a college or something.
Yeah,
That's
I
like
mean,
basically it.
I would say that's still like relatively high stakes, but
Yeah, since getting into college and stuff, I realized like I don't think it's that important. This might be stupid
that is
though,
true. That is true.
Yeah,
I don't think my life would be so different if I went to UCSD or like UCLA or whatever. Like, I don't think it would change that much.
Yeah, but yeah, I generally agree with everything you guys say. Some of these things I would put weaknesses, like in different. Yeah. Anyways.
What about the second and third
missed?
strengths? Empathetic or willing to listen to or help. I mean, I kind of glossed over it a little bit, but I feel like this is
sorry. Yeah, I totally just missed that. Wait, where is that?
It's
very
under
motivated,
strengths.
empathetic, willing to help. Right. Very I haven't actually talked about being very motivated for music. I kind of did, but it was in relation to Skyler's point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you already covered that. That's like fine, but
yeah,
the other two,
empathetic. Maybe I don't think I'm necessary. I think I might be more empathetic than you guys. But I don't think I'm that empathetic. Do you know what I'm saying?
Fuck, we just got burned, Skyler.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I try to look at things in other people's perspective because it's no use trying to look at things in your perspective if you want to know why somebody did something, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like if you want to know why this person did a thing, it doesn't really matter what you would do in his shoes because you're not in his shoes, right? So it's more important to think about what that person did, what the world is like to that person.
Yeah, but well, okay.
So
I don't know. Maybe it's just everyone
that.
around me is super fucking cynical or whatever. But like, most people I know aren't like that. Like they don't.
I think a lot of people are pretty cynical. Like.
Well, I mean, then in comparison, then you are empathetic, right? So that
I guess, but I don't think I'm actually empathetic compared to a lot of people or like the average population. I might be slightly, but I don't think not by enough of a margin.
One standard deviation.
One standard deviation.
Willing to listen and help. I don't know if I don't really know. I don't know. I feel like most of my friends are willing to listen to the things that I say and would help me in situations. So, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of times you'll go above and beyond. Maybe just the people.
Okay, that's good to hear.
People that I know are just fucking cynical as shit and like fucking assholes or whatever. But I feel like generally you're willing to do more than most people I know. So.
Okay, well that's good. Thanks. Yeah, that's to me. I think most of my friends, if I ask them for help or anything, they'll definitely do it. So, yeah. So yeah, that's that. Did I miss any points? Let's see.
No, I think that's about it. I mean, we're like
It's about
super fucking far
We're
over time, I'm
way
pretty
over
sure.
time.
Oh my god, this took
Holy
so
shit, 2.5
long,
hours.
dude.
Dude, should we split this up? We can split the second half of this. into
Yeah,
little
we
podcasts.
could even split it.
Like the
into
strengths
two,
and
'cause-
weaknesses.
Nah, we recorded it in one go. Let's just release it.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, we're not even
2.5
done,
hours.
dude. Look at our topics. We have so many.
Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that?
Literally so many.
Dude, you're making this too easy for us, Skyler.
So many, dude. Double episode. We just stop right now
Dude,
and then we just do another one.
no. What we can do is we can record an intro for the second for the strengths and weaknesses thing, and then we can record some other stuff right afterwards. So then we have 2 long episodes. Do you get it?
No, I mean, we don't have to. We could just release
That's
this.
too much work, dude.
We could.
All
Thing is,
right,
if we cut it here, it's like one would be a bit short, which is fine, I guess.
Well, I mean, we could just.
I think we
release
should
as one
split it.
episode. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, sure.
As
I mean,
always,
or
thanks
that.
to our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends.
We're not sponsored by Raid Shadow.
Wait,
We're
no,
not
I already
sponsored
used
by
that
Raid Shadow
joke.
Legends.
Fucking NordVPN, best VPN ever. E25 earbuds, whatever is Raycons. That's right. What else?
Dude, there's
I
like
don't
honey.
know.
There's honey, right? There's honey.
Oh, that's right,
Honey.
honey. Yeah, use honey. Save money on your bunny
Use shitposting
for
for
your
your code
honey,
10% off.
Yeah, use honey.
Oh,
www.honey.
there's also
/shit.
the Dollar Shave Club or something.
Oh, that's right.
Dollar Shave Club.
Dollar Shave Club.
Enter the
What else?
post
What else
shit
is
to enter the code shit to get, you know,
Right. Right.
Get
Discount.
50%.
on
To
your-
get
no,
100.
there's also,
To get
um,
100%
There's
off.
also the fuck. What's the ebook site called?
Audible.
Audible.
Audible, yeah, Audible.
Yeah. Audible sponsorship.
Audible.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys
Wait,
for
there's
listening.
also Curiosity Stream. Wait, there's also Curiosity Stream.
We can do that next
Curiosity
episode, dude. Curiosity
Okay,
Stream will
okay,
sponsor us next time.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Well, actually, no. Tiger should do the outro.
It's
Yeah, he's
it's
the host,
fine,
he's the
it's
host.
fine. Thank you guys for listening to this absolutely abomination of a fucking podcast.
The best
Hey,
shit
we had some good
Posting
topics
podcast.
Next
today.
week.
on YouTube.
We'll be back next week if Skyler's not late. So
For the 5 listeners out there who probably don't
These
even listen.
motherfuckers trying to test me, dude. Trying to test me.
For like-
Watch me
Leave
cancel
a
this whole
comment if you actually
podcast.
watching to this point.
for the person that accidentally clicked on it but forgot that it was still playing after you turned off your phone, or something, we'll still be here next week for you to check back in.
All right.
Goddamn pessimists, man. I need to find new
See you guys.
co-hosts.